Any questions before we get started?
No, man. Good roll.
Well, let's do this, man. Are you ready for Christmas?
Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's the first Christmas I've had off in a while, dude. So I'm gonna relax and just enjoy it.
Nice. Are you gonna be doing some traveling? Doing any traveling?
Hell no, man. We are staying at home.
Staying right where you're at?
Yeah, man. But the news this morning was already talking about the horrific delays in flights. I'm like, I don't want any part of traveling around Christmas ever.
Oh, not even in the vehicle. To hell with that.
Hell no. That's even worse.
So you're up in Arizona, is that right?
Yep, Arizona, Phoenix area.
Okay. Is that something that you care people knowing? I'm recording now, by the way.
Everyone knows I'm out here in Arizona, man. So
okay. I just want to make sure we don't, again, say something you don't want to say. But last name, all that, people know your last name?
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody knows that. But, search for Mike Mills on the internet and you'll get the lead guitarist for REM. So,
is that his name?
Yeah, it's Mike Mills.
That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. That's the only REM song I know.
Yep.
We had a friend growing up. His name, we called him Kool-Aid. He would always sing that song. He was like this, 6 foot, 300-pound teddy bear kind of dude,
Yeah, for sure.
It's hilarious. Well, there we go. We're back, Leadheads. Another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. Welcome in. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As you hear, I've got a guest with me already. Mike Mills with Tactical Considerations is our special guest today. Leadheads, you probably saw the post asking for questions, and if you didn't, you missed out. You missed your opportunity to ask Mike questions. But I'm sure they can get in touch with you elsewhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Every social media platform there is, I'm probably on it, just at Tactical Considerations, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and pretty much everything else.
Are you doing all those other ones like TikTok and what's some other ones that are out there?
No, I'm not on TikTok, man.
Yeah, I don't do any of those others either.
Yeah, I do. I'm on like Parler and Instagram, Facebook, and then auto upload to other things like Full30 and stuff.
Yeah.
But I ain't trying to participate in the communist China spy propaganda on TikTok.
Do you think that's legit? You think that's really a spy thing from China, or is that just something that
the information's all there and accessible?
Well, it is on anything. It's on any of these freaking social medias,
Yeah. Well, don't think for a minute our own government's not spying on us, but I'll take the devil I know and the one I don't.
That's true. But all China does is they just take something and they copy it, and then they sell
very good
and sell it back to us.
Yeah, so they're not really great with coming up with things, but they're really good at copying stuff.
Oh, they're and copying it, but not as good. They don't make it as good usually, but they make a damn good look-alike.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it you and me talking about that? It was me and you talking about that, about all the thieves that are at SHOT Show that go around taking the pictures and.
Oh yeah, taking those they bring macro lenses and take fine pictures of the detail and.
Yeah, and then the next day it'll be on Amazon or something for sale. The very next day.
Well, not only that, but any company that has any resource in China or does any manufacturing, that technology is open to them to use. So they basically have to sign that away for the most part, and China gets to make a copy of it. That's why you see the same thing here that's branded U.S. and it's a different one here and it's from China. That's why.
From China. It's from China.
Yeah. That dude.
So, Leadheads, if you didn't get a chance, make sure you go back to our previous episodes. This one, you're probably listening to it. It's going to be after Christmas sometime, and you're probably just days away from missing our 10-year celebration giveaway, where we've got close to $10,000 in prizes. So if you haven't done that yet, and you're listening to this, and it's not the end of December, you still got a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. Go to my website.
There's a chance.
That's right. Go to my website. There's links there. I've put links on the social medias. got a lot of companies taking part in that, helping us celebrate our 10 years. Like I said, over $10,000 in prizes. We've got 4 firearms up. We've got a AP5 from Century Arms. We've got a Tavor from IWI. We have a Keltec Sub 2000, very limited edition Sub 2000. It's tan Cerakote with, it's got the multi-mag adapter, so you can use different manufacturers' magazines in that. And then Henry Rifles, we've got an AR-7, one of those Survival 22 breakdowns. Have you seen those? Those things are pretty cool. So lots of other prizes too. Crimson Trace has jumped in, Primary Arms, Lockdown, SEAL 1, Mission First Tactical, Kraken cases. Are you familiar? Did you see the Kraken case at the event that we went to that Tom had?
Oh yeah, no, I definitely saw it. That was very cool.
Yeah, that foam that they've got in those cases. We got 5 of those in this giveaway that we're giving away, and I'm forgetting somebody. SEAL 1, I think I said SEAL 1. Mission for ASP, ASP. We've got a nice, like almost $300 flashlight and safety kit that's included in that. So check it out. Lots of good stuff. Time is running out. Tick, tick, tick.
Man, I'm going to have to go get entered on that. That's a better giveaway than I did for my 100,000.
There you go, man. Jeff, well, we're 10 years. 10 years is kind of a milestone too. So
yeah, it is.
We're kind of proud of that, and we wanted to give back to our listeners, and our listeners know that we give back pretty much every episode. So as long as you're participating, listening, you're going to win. That's how it works here. I don't contact my winners either, Mike. They have to listen to know that they won. So that's a stipulation.
Yeah, I post up. So when I do it, just so I can verify their username, I announce the winners in a post, and then they have to go and respond with a code that I leave in a comment. That way I know it's their username, because people try to scam you on YouTube all the time with like, text this number, you've won, and it's the username is a phone number. I'm like, don't fall for that.
Sucker.
Yeah.
So you reached a milestone with your YouTube channel. We want to talk about that. And we're going to talk more about tactical considerations, learn more about Mike and his YouTube channel and other things he's got going on in his life. But first, Mike, we do this thing. It's called the Planes and Trains segment. And we got to take care of some jack wagons and honor some heroes. So, Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the talking lead jack wagon of the week, so brace yourself, baby.
Cool. He was solid, man. Yeah, jack wagon. I love that.
Oh yeah, that's where we got it.
That's awesome.
All right, the train has stationed, and I know we've got a couple of jack wagons from you lead heads that we've got to take care of, but I like to always start with my guest, Mike, and you may or may not be prepared for the jack wagon train and Lead Force One heroes, but you got anybody you want to call out as being stupid or doing stupid things or just being a jack wagon? And it could be a thing too. Maybe it's a thing. It doesn't have to be a person.
Not that I want to get political, but everybody in that hearing the other day that was talking about, submitting charges to the Department of Justice on Trump. What a complete shit show that's been.
What a complete waste of taxpayers' money and time that they're putting into going after Trump, just trying to make sure that he doesn't run for president again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a blatant, obvious tactic what they're doing, but yet people are still letting them get away with that bullshit.
Yep, and that's as political as I'm going to get, because they're wasting my money.
It's a waste of my damn money.
Wasting my money and messing with my money is like messing with my emotions.
I had Carrie with We the Women and the guys from
We the Female.
We the Female. I said We the Women. We the Female.
Don't say that. Don't say that wrong. She'll get you.
She's a good one for that.
Yeah.
Also, stiletto and shotguns is what she does. And the guys from Gun Owners of America, we had Jordan on, And the topic of the show was hardening schools, and the different things that we could do to do that. And this waste of money that you just pointed out could be better spent going towards protecting our schools, our education systems.
100%.
So that was a good one. Let's see. So I know I've got a leadhead that did one here, sent it in via Facebook. And I told you a million times, leadheads, don't send me shit on Facebook because I never check Facebook. You got to email me your jackwagon nominations, talkinglead@gmail.com. Or if you got heroes, we'd rather get heroes than jackwagons, but jackwagons are so easy. They're such easy targets. Let's see. So I'm going to Facebook, and I haven't been on Facebook in so long. I don't even know how it works.
Oh, dude, the new interface when they went to Meta with all the different business suite of things, and then none of my messages on Facebook work right. It's a train wreck right now, dude.
I know I saw one. I think it was from Ed Burton, Leadhead Ed, and I'm trying to find it here. This is why I tell you not to send me shit on Facebook. You know better.
It's buried in the messages somewhere now.
This brings up a thing too. You guys were asking me about my giant dump tray, and I talked about it on the AK corner. But that wasn't real. It was an optical illusion. That dump tray was not big enough to park your car on. It was actually Ed Burton made the post, and it was here. I'll show it to you. You probably didn't see this. I can share my screen. So he's got this AK-47 next to the dump tray, and you could actually fit the AK into this dump tray. Well, that AK is one of those toy AKs, that company that makes the realistic guns.
Yeah, ATI or something. Or
something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But it was a really good photo because I was like, holy shit. Where did he get that tray? But no, that's not one of our dump trays. Or it is one of our dump trays, but it's just the normal size ones. It's just a small gun. We give our listeners these dump trays that Mission First Tactical makes, Mike.
Those dump trays. We got one of those. Yeah, those were nice.
Yeah. So we kind of started that with Mission First Tactical, and it's kind of been a thing. So, and you can get all kinds of cool logos and things put on there. But Ed, if you sent me a jackwagon, I'm not finding it. So, my bad, fellas. Yeah, I got We the Female right there. So yeah, We the Female. So, what about a hero? You got any heroes? Got anybody you'd like to give some recognition to that wouldn't normally get it in the biased media that deserves it?
The biased media.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've actually watched the news, man. Honestly, dude, just people that are just doing good by other people. I mean, not like a specific person, but if you go out and do one nice person for somebody or help somebody out there, you may not change the world with one act, but you can change somebody's world, right?
What's that thing? Is it called paying it forward?
Yeah.
Random acts of kindness kind of deal.
100%. Whether you're helping somebody on the range or doing something, I think there's, people that, do heroic things, and military guys and all that out there, they get a lot of notoriety for that, as they should. But I think just any good person out there doing something good for somebody, those are the people that ultimately make the world not suck. So
yeah,
I want to give a shout to the good people in the world.
Yeah, just go out today and just do a random act of kindness. Whether it's just opening a door for somebody, something as small as that can make a world of difference for somebody's day.
You'd be surprised how many people don't open or hold open doors for people anymore.
Oh my gosh. All right, so I got a jackwagon. That just made me think. So we took my mom out for her birthday this week. She's like 82, 81. I don't want to overage her. She'll kick my ass. But, I mean, you think she was 50. But anyway, we took her out for her birthday to this it was a really nice restaurant. It's called Mauricio's, an Italian restaurant in a town where she lives nearby. And, you have to make reservations and all this. And we're sitting at the table. And, I mean, I don't know how people are raised these days, but when I was raised, you always take the female's order first.
Yeah.
You ladies first, kind of deal. So, we get this waiter. He's probably in his 20s. I don't know. Really nice dude. I mean, he wasn't impolite or anything like that. And I think it's just more ignorance than anything. But he started taking orders, and he went to my older brother first because he was sitting the closest, and he was just going to go around the table like that and take orders. And my brother looked at him. He goes, "No, go ahead and take the birthday girl's order first, please." He was just trying to be polite. So he went to her. He said, "Okay." So what would you like? Mom ordered, and then he went back to my brother. And there's 3 other ladies sitting there. And I said, if you don't mind, please take the ladies' orders first.
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, well, I get dudes that get mad when I don't ask them their order first." I'm like, I highly doubt that, and I highly doubt they're from the South if it's people that you're waiting on, because that's just kind of how we do it here in the South. It's ladies first, and I just thought that was, as a waiter, I mean, come on, I mean your tips, your livelihood depend on that. But anyway, I thought that was kind of a jackwagon move for him.
Yeah, unfortunately, people don't know, and we haven't raised men in quite some time. For the most part, right? It
is a dying art. It certainly is. But our lead heads know, and they're not, they're raising their kids right. We get all kinds of posts from our lead heads about how they're raising their kids right. We even had one that submitted, I can't remember which lead head it was, but they were out at the range, and this guy had taken his friend and his daughter, and my friend's son, he was probably like 3 or 4, I don't know. I mean, he was old enough to talk, and I don't have kids, so I don't I don't know kids' ages, But anyway, so the dude was showing his daughter how to shoot, and the kid was behind him. He's like, "Hey, the safety's off." He's like, "Hey, your safety's off." He's like, "Hey, keep your finger off the trigger. Your safety's off." And he just kept getting on the dad that was teaching the daughter. And I thought that was good. I was like, "You taught your son right. Very good."
Yeah, no, it's good.
The toxicity, the toxic manhood is, kind of it's a negative thing these days, but we need to keep it going. Got to keep that toxicity going, male toxicity.
Yeah. They don't like it until they need it.
Right. So I apologize whoever sent the jackwagon in. I was looking for, I don't see anything in emails, and I don't see it on the Facebook. So wherever you posted it, maybe it was Instagram. I'll give you one chance on Instagram. If I don't see you on Instagram, then we'll move on. Messages.
Well, because your Instagram messages show up in Facebook Meta.
Well, maybe that's what it was. No. No. Okay. That's it. If you have Leadhead Brigade, or if you have jackwagons or Leadhead Brigade heroes to nominate, talkingled@gmail.com. Email those to me and put it in the subject there, and we'll get those. So that was a light jackwagon train this week. I wasn't really prepared for it. I just recorded last night too, so
okay.
I didn't get a chance to reload for today. Oh, that's my bad. Christmas and all, this time of year, jingle bells, it's a hectic time of year. So,
yeah, it is.
So we kind of talked a little bit in the beginning there when we were talking, and we got Christmas coming up, and you got some plans. You're just going to do stuff around the house there, and I guess you got family that are nearby, so you don't have to travel quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, most of my family's here in Arizona, like within about 20 minutes, 30 minutes of me.
Now, are you in the hotter part of Arizona, or are you up in those mountains, where we did the...
I'm in Phoenix area, blazing hot.
Okay. So you didn't have to travel too far for that little training thing that we did with lockdown.
It's about an hour and 45, 2 hours, something like that, to where that is.
Yeah, so you didn't have to travel very far at all. Holy shit. Okay.
Nah, we drove up, yeah.
Okay. See, I was preparing for the Phoenix weather. So everything I packed was short sleeves and, light, breathable.
And then it snowed.
Yeah, and then I found out, like, oh shit, we're going up in the mountains. Okay. And that was my bad for not, all I had to do was look up Gunsight and see where their address was. And I was just going by whatever.
Funny, young girl Jen was out there with the shotgun on the Smith & Wesson shotgun day, and she's bundled up in this thing, and there's like snow all over, and I'm like, how do you feel? I think it's Arizona. Welcome.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of us were unprepared for that.
Yeah, everybody did the Walmart run to get like snivel gear.
Yeah. I was lucky enough. I brought my my Cryptek jacket, which I think you.
Yeah, that was a nice jacket.
You were eyeing
nice jacket.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good time. So that's where Mike and I met. Was at and you guys heard me talk about it. We had Brian Steer on, and when we released the info on the secure walls that are behind me for our video audience back here. Can you see my walls back there?
Yeah, no, I'm taking a look at it, man. Mine's coming in pretty soon, so.
So we had Brian on. We were talking about the Gunsight 3-gun training event that I was going to, and I had no idea who was going to be there other than Plinkster. I knew that he was going to be there. But that's where Mike and I got to meet, and it was a really good event. I thought that the team there at Lockdown and American Outdoor Brands did a really good job putting that together, and it's probably one of the better events that I've ever been to as far as a range type event.
Yeah, no, that was one of the best events I've been to too. And then I know some of the guys that teach up there, so it's kind of cool to.
Oh, did you know some of those fellas?
Go back up there. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've worked with a couple of them before.
That was my first time being at Gunsight. It's a real impressive compound they got there. Nice
it's a big
setup.
Facility.
It is big. It's a lot bigger than I was expecting.
Yeah, but you didn't get to see all the long range places they got either. So.
And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do more of that than the target stuff that we were doing. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. Had a good time. The Crimson Trace optics that they had, the LPVOs they had on those the Saints. I was really impressed with those. I just got a 1-10 in. Here, I had the 1-6 is the one that they gave me on the AR. And then I just built a 308.
Yeah.
And I wanted a 1-10 for it. So I got the Crimson Trace 1-10 LPVO.
Yeah, that's the new 34 millimeter tube. So yeah.
Yeah, the 34 millimeter. It's just like the ones that they had at the event. Some people got 1-6, some people got 1-8, some people got the 1-10. Which I think I got the 1-6 is perfect for the AR. It works perfect on that. That little shooting competition that they had us do, the running gun with the target, I think maybe 400 or 500. I don't remember how far the furthest target was, but we were nailing it fine on the 1-6. Yeah,
and those weren't even like really zeroed too well either. It was kind of like, hey, get close, and then we're going to start shooting.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of guesstimate. But no,
all right, I know.
I nailed them all but one. I only missed one when I was running through that, so it was a good time.
Yeah.
But when I was building this 308, I was thinking of an optic, and I didn't want a really long range because this was more of a close range build, more of a close range CQB kind of rifle. So I thought the 1-10 would be perfect for that. That way, if I did need to reach out a little bit further, you got the 10 on there. So I haven't taken it out. I just got the mount in yesterday. Shipping, is murder right now. So
you got a bore sighter, a laser sighter.
Oh, I saw a video that you were talking about that. So that's something that I wanted to talk to you about.
Bore sighted at night.
At night?
Do it at night. Turn on the lighting on there on that optic.
Yeah.
And you put that like the Wheeler brand bore gauge on the end of the muzzle device, and just make sure it's real squared up.
Uh-huh.
And you can get 100-yard zero all day because if you try to use that boresight laser during the day, the sun washes it out even on the reflective target because it's just so bright. And the lasers can only be a certain class because they're controlled, right?
Yeah.
So if you do that at night and you have a known 100-yard object, you can literally dial in the reticle illumination center dot to the laser, and you're almost dead zero when you hit the range.
What you said is a Wheeler?
Yeah.
Wheeler boresight.
So Wheeler's got
look it up here.
It's in my bag. In my bag up over there.
Go get it.
But it's a magnetic. Grab my big range bag. So it fits on the end of your muzzle, and
check it out.
The end of it is magnetic.
Yeah, I had one that was like that. Right here. That's a lot nicer than the one I had.
Yeah, so that's a magnet, and it comes with this reflective target. But if you throw this on your muzzle and you make sure that circular, it's like perfectly around it, then you turn that laser on, and you can literally, I've done it out to 200 yards. You can get really close with this. But 100 yards zero with this at night because it's green, so you dial your red center dot right into the green laser as long as you're on the muzzle right.
Yeah.
Perfect. You maybe expend 5 rounds zeroing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's awesome because my new chassis build that I haven't even fired yet, there's no way I'm spending $4.50 every time I pull the trigger to be off paper when I start, right?
So that'll work on multiple calibers in. It doesn't really matter the caliber.
It'll work on anything you can magnetically put that thing on the end of the muzzle.
Work on a tank.
Yeah. So unless you're using an aluminum muzzle device or something, yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to get one of those. Let's see. Let me share my screen here. So here it is right here. The professional laser boresighter. Hold on.
That's the one that I just did.
Hold on, let me bring my screen back up. Oh, okay. Look at that. Oh, what is that?
Yeah. So it's a KRG Whiskey 3 chassis. The action is based on a Remington 700, but it's actually my buddy, John Geib, that was a Ranger sniper. We were both in battalion. Him and Rock McMillan started that company right there, JJ Rock. And it's a 6.5 Creedmoor action that he designed and built. And they just sold it to Dillon Precision, actually. So I got his last action. And it's got a Criterion 6.5 Creedmoor barrel. And then I'll run it suppressed. So It's got the dead air brake on it.
Yeah.
MDT grind pod, which is not my first choice, but tried it out. And then I've got a Riton X7 Conquer on there right now.
Right on.
Kind of testing.
I got several of those on the wall there.
This one right here, that X7, is a really nice piece of glass.
What's the magnification on it?
That one's a 4 to 35?
The 4 to 35?
Yeah, 4 to 32.
Yeah.
It's a lot of scope.
I've got that one. Well, it's behind this thing. I've got a 20-inch 308 that I've got set up with the long range optic there. Yeah, I really liked it. I thought they did a good job. It's got the Christmas tree reticle.
Yep, 100%, man. I've gone all mill. I've gotten away from MOA, and I want all the same style of reticle, so I can just do everything without having to turn the dials.
Yeah, I like the mill dots. The 1 to 6 is a mill dot. This 1 to 10 is a MOA.
I gave away all my MOA stuff.
You did. You just take it.
I was tired of picking up something and be like, oh, that's the MOA one. I should have brought this one. So I was I'm just getting rid of it all.
Yeah,
I gave it away.
Yeah, I mean, that's smart. Standardize all your shit. That way, you're like, oh fuck, I forgot that was the mill.
Yeah, and there's so many different reticles now that it's hard to keep up. And I'm not a precision guy. I mean, I've done 1,000-yard shots and stuff before because I had the world's best spotter. But it's something I want to get into much more. So testing all these different optics now, it's one, if you go from MOA to mill all the time, you kind of get confused in your head. You start thinking different math, right?
Yeah. Inches
and centimeters and all that different stuff. But then your holdovers are totally different. So if you're looking at the wrong reticle, you're like, wait a minute, I literally did. I was like, oh, I did that in MOA, and I did it on a video on the Springfield 2020 Waypoint rifle where I was running a Crimson Trace like Hardline Pro.
Right.
And I know the distance to the target, but I'm doing everything in MOA in my head, and it's a mil reticle.
You're just doing it all wrong.
And he is like, I'm pulling, I hit, and I go to the further one, and all you hear him say is, "Where did that go?" I'm like, I don't know, man. And then I was thinking about it. I was like, I did that wrong. I was thinking inches and not centimeters.
You're like, oh shit, it went way over.
Oh no, that thing ate the ground probably 5 feet in front of that piece of steel.
Oh damn. Yeah, that could be a bad day.
I was all messed up.
So, for our listeners who aren't familiar with Tactical Considerations, which I'm sure most of you are, he's got a YouTube channel, and I'm going to pull it up here for our video audience. But it's just Tactical Considerations if you go search on the boob tubes. And am I at the right one? I'm at the right one, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, it's your page here. Why don't you put your logo up there, man?
I just haven't redone the banner thing. Like the logo is in my photo, but it's not in my like overhead banner.
For some reason, my logo is in your thing.
That happened when I looked at your channel the other day. That's something weird. I don't know why it did that. If some odd reason YouTube is not refreshing the banner logos, and it'll show your logo when you're looking at somebody else's thing.
Let me refresh it. There, I refreshed it and now did it. Yeah. I had my logo on there. I was like, oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, you just commandeered my channel.
Appreciate it. Yeah. It's the Chinese. It's the Chinese at work. But TikTok. You recently busted 100,000 subscribers. You're over almost at 130,000 now. So congratulations, man.
Yeah, no, thanks, man. It's growing really good right now.
Now, how long have you been doing the YouTube?
I want to say that I actually reserved that channel name in like 2018.
Yeah.
So like 3.5 years, if that.
Yeah, man, that's phenomenal. 3.5 years. You're already
something like that.
Getting close to 150,000. I mean, you'll probably bust that by July next year. Probably hit 200,000. I'd say at least.
Well, we'll see. It probably would have grown faster and better if I had not been such an El Cheapo and bought like better gear up front for camera and lighting, but you don't know that when you start.
You don't, it's unless you know somebody that's already in it that can give you tips and tricks, man. It's learning on your own. This don't work. This works. This is stupid. And, people giving you comments and feedback. That's how I did it. The past 10 years is just trial and error, man. Because when I started, there was, there wasn't hardly anybody doing podcasts. It was, back in the infancy of podcasting. YouTube was around and was, it was like at its peak, kind of when we started of people getting into it. And, it's kind of, for the gun industry anyway, it's kind of with all the bans and all the, restrictions that they put on our industry. It's hard for somebody to grow, and the fact that you've overcome that and you've reached this level, it says a lot.
Well, and I think it's just part of it too is there's just so many good channels now, because look at camera and audio equipment now as compared to 10 years ago. I mean, you can go and buy. I mean, I've basically behind me here, I've got a cinema camera that I could have never afforded 10 years ago, but now it's $3,500.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and you can do crazy stuff with it, and it looks, amazing. Like I can film 4K. I've got another camera that can film above 4K.
Now, are you doing all your own filming, or do you have a photographer, videographer that you work with?
So like 90% of everything I do by myself, and then I have a good buddy, Mike Borden, who owns a company called After Action. So he's like a photographer for American Outdoor Brands, Athlon. He does a lot of work, CMFG. He's got contracts with a bunch of companies, and I help him with when he's overloaded with doing photography and videography. And then if we're out on the range and I'm shooting video, he'll help me out because he's running like primo gear, like Alpha 1 cameras, FX6s, like really high-end stuff.
Yeah.
He's
obviously,
audio equipment's awesome.
That's his primary gig. Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, he's got a couple different drones, and it's pretty cool.
Where, again, it's worth mentioning that you're doing this while having a full-time job, career.
Yeah.
On top of that. So the fact that, you're doing that and you've grown to, like 130,000 with, kind of doing this part-time, even though I know it's full-time, there's a lot of hours that go into it, especially with the quality of work that you're putting out with your videos. So kudos to you on that too.
Yeah, I never thought that I would be making videos or know how to use cameras or video or anything, especially editing. But it's time consuming.
Yeah, it is. It's a nightmare. Learning, and again, you're talking about what works, what doesn't work, and that goes with the software too, the editing, the behind the scenes kind of stuff too. I don't know how many different software packages I've tried out to, for audio editing, video editing, cameras, all kinds of stuff.
I think I'm on my 5th camera.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, there'll be more. Christmas is coming up too. Maybe you'll get one for Christmas.
Hey, no, because I just bought a brand new A7S3 Sony.
Oh, look at you go, baby.
Yeah, that replaced my R6 Canon and my SL3 and my T7i and my GoPros. And
did you get rid of those? Or you still have those?
I got rid of some of them. The only cameras I'm going to keep is the A7S3, and I might keep the R6 just because the stabilization and body is like nothing else.
Yeah.
Like you can hold that camera and move, and it's like it's on a gimbal, whereas the Sony's not quite as good. But it's a different color profile, different photo style, so you got to be able to color grade to make it all look the same. So it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Now, how did you learn your photography skills? Just trial and error, or did you actually do a course?
No, mostly trial and error. My buddy Mike did help me quite a bit, just kind of explaining things to me. But some of our ID techs at work also kind of showed me a little bit how to do it. But a lot of it was watching people on YouTube and just learning like the basics, because once you know ISO, aperture, and shutter rate, you just want to control what lighting you're in and what you want your video to look like. Do you want it blurry in the background or not? ISO, aperture, shutter speed, and that's really all you need to know. And once you play around with it, it's pretty easy to figure out from there on. It's the
make it sound so easy.
Little things. Well, I know, but it's the little things that get you, like a hair light to separate you from the background. Things like that's where the pros get you, because they know how to angle light. They know how to, put colors over here and a different color over here. And
yeah,
that's what I don't get, because I am not an artistic person. I'm like a rock ape that drags knuckles. So
you're pretty artistic nowadays, looking at your videos. And look at you right now. You got blue over here. You got orange over here in your background.
Not because I came up with it, only because I stole it. Right.
Well, all I do is I just flip some lights on. I just got bright lights.
Right. Yeah.
I got like this light right here that's blinded me.
Yeah, I've got like a little ring light in front of me right now. And
do you really?
Yeah.
That's gay.
Got to make it look good, dude.
No, your lighting does look good. I should probably get one of those little ring lights. It just, I was like,
It makes life so much easier, dude.
I can imagine. I like making things tough. I like making things difficult, apparently. That's the way I live.
Well, you know what John Wayne said, life's hard. It's even harder if you're stupid.
Right? There's no cure for stupid.
Yeah.
So you started this about 3 years ago, the YouTube. What possessed you to get involved with this? And we haven't talked about your background yet, and we're going to get into that. But
yeah. It was a dare.
It was a dare.
That's the best I got. It was like a dare and a bet, basically.
What was the downside of you doing starting your own YouTube channel?
The downside of it?
Because that's what dares usually are. It's like if somebody's daring you to do something, you're going to get some kind of punishment from it.
Well, you make an ass out of yourself and you lose money. It was a steak dinner and a bottle of Jameson or something or no, it was a Glenfiddich or Glenlivet. It was one of those bottles. And I'm trying to remember what it was. We were watching something and I'm like, oh, this is trash. Why are you watching this? Well, you couldn't do any better. I'm all, yeah, tell me I can't do something and watch how fast I do it, right?
Yeah.
And then you make a couple of videos and realize how stupid you sound and how bad your camera and audio is. And then you start to improve because you can't leave it on that note.
Right.
Yeah.
So I take it you eventually got that bottle of Jameson.
Yes.
Maybe not your first try, but
it's come around now to the point where like my friends that was like, I don't know if I don't know about this. They're all like, holy crap, man, because it's just like it's crazy the things I can go out and do in real life, but you put a camera in front of me before I knew how to like sit there and talk to a camera. You just sound like you don't speak English and you look like a wet fish or a deer in headlights, in camera. So It's just weird. And once you kind of get over that, it's good to go.
The uhs and the ahs and the ums and
yeah.
Learning how to just get past all that.
Verbal diarrhea where you make what should be an 8-minute video and it takes you 30 because you're just bloviating about bullshit.
Right. And you do it all in one breath.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you look orange because you don't know how to color grade, so your skin's all orange. It's so bad.
Well, you've adapted, you've overcome, and that's got a lot to do with your background, which we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. Yeah. But the YouTube channel, congrats on the YouTube channel, the success. Are you doing anything outside of that? Are you doing? Do you have a podcast? Do you do anything else like that?
No, I don't do a podcast or anything. I do help some companies with, R&D and like early testing when they want me to break stuff.
Yeah.
I'm under NDAs for all that, so I can't discuss it, but,
sure.
I do some of that and, I write articles for some different things and that's really it, man. It probably could, it is technically kind of a full-time job. I could probably go full-time right now and be just fine. But just not quite ready to do that. We've got something coming up, big life change for me and my wife coming up in a couple of years. We're actually going to be moving to Tennessee, so we're kind of preparing for that.
That's where I'm at, dude.
I know.
What part?
Talked about this.
Tell me what part of Tennessee.
So
I'm in the Nashville area. I'm in the middle Tennessee. Yeah. East, west, south,
northeast. So I'm actually going to have Johnny B from Johnny B, right?
I don't.
Okay. Johnny B on YouTube, awesome guy. He's one of the best dudes in the world that helped me out when I was new. Really helped me out a lot.
Cool.
Yeah, no. So that's it. I found it. It looks good. It's what we want. It's kind of at it's on the eastern side of the clinch between, and it's about 25 minutes from.
Okay. Yeah, I know what area you're talking about. So, yeah, it's beautiful up there, man.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you didn't say you're moving to West Tennessee. Yes.
No, I can't handle West Tennessee. No.
Mississippi can have them.
Yep.
Mississippi can have Memphis, as far as I'm concerned. But
it's no, like Texarkana.
That's cool, man. There's a lot, and a lot of this gun, social media, YouTube gun stuff started in Tennessee. You look at all the real popular gun channels like Hickok 45. He's here in Tennessee. Yeah. Plinkster is here in Tennessee. I don't know if you knew James Yeager or not, but Yeager Tactical Response is here in Tennessee.
Knew of him, didn't know him personally. But.
Yeah, he recently passed.
Yes.
Yeah. There was this other Gun Blast. These guys, Gun Blast. I think that guy passed away too. He had a pretty big following on YouTube back in the day. I say back in the day, 10 years, 10, 12 years ago was a super long time ago. It feels like it was 20 years ago. But yeah, man, you'll be in good company up here, definitely. And you say Johnny B lives up here?
Yeah, Johnny B is out there. Actually, Steve from Mr. Big Kid channel just moved to, and then the Black Diamond Guns and Gears are out there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys out there.
There's a lot. Yeah, and there's even more. Yeah. I mean, I just can't think of them right now, but there's even more out this way. But Hootie
Who's out there. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who Hootie Who is either.
You got to look up Hootie Who and watch his video on bad taxidermy. It'll change your life.
Hootie Who. Yeah, I'll do that.
Hootie Who, man. He's awesome. If you ever get a chance to meet
Right
Hootie Who, he's a freaking awesome guy.
Where's my pen? Here it is. Like Hooti Who?
WHO Hootie Who.
WHO Hootie Who.
Can't
he up
miss
there
a
in
big
his-
old 6'5" corn-fed boy with an American flag shirt doing like a pose. That's him.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. I definitely need to meet that guy.
Yeah, no, he's awesome, dude. You'd get along with him very well.
Cool. Well, I'm excited, man. Yeah, you have to let me know when that happens, and we will do a welcoming committee for you.
Yeah, hopefully about 24 months. So,
Welcome to the free state of Tennessee.
mm-hmm.
Arizona's not bad though, is it?
Arizona's gone, man.
Is it gone? You lost it?
Yeah, Arizona's an absolute train wreck right now, and I don't think it's going to recover. Plus, I'm just tired of wearing a bulletproof vest in a desert somewhere in this world.
Rob would tell you that failing to prepare is preparing to fail. He's not a prepper, but survival skills, personal preparedness, and self-sufficiency are important skill sets in his book. His firearm of choice, the Kel-Tec RDB Survival, says a lot about him. This great compact bullpup rifle fits in a pack and tight spaces when he feels like bugging out. Unlike ordinary bullpups, the RDBS rifle redefines the concept of platform, offering a traditional rifle grip, balance, crisp trigger, and an adjustable buttstock. The RDB Survival delivers 5.56 ballistic performance in a compact package weighing 5 pounds 14 ounces. It has a patented downward ejection that allows for complete ambidextrous use with an intuitive safety and reversible charging handle. It's a get you there, never let you down kind of rifle. Innovation, performance, Kel-Tec.
So let's do this.
New guy, and sometimes a girl. Question.
Because I want our listeners to know about your background, kind of where you come from and whatnot. So I'm going to start the new guy questions. I usually do them towards the end of the show, but we'll start them and just kind of pepper them in throughout the show.
Sure.
So the first question I ask is, do you have any military law enforcement background?
Absolutely not.
No, not enough. That thing hanging up at the Rangers lead the way.
Don't look at any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went in the Army, basic infantry guy. I was actually scheduled to go be mechanized infantry and basic training, but big old drill sergeant Charlie Connor plucked me and a couple other guys and were like, "Hey, you interested in going to do this?" I was like, "Yeah, that sounds really badass. I saw movies when I was a kid. Let's do that." So I went to, at the time, what was called RIP, the Ranger Indoctrination Program. I graduated that, went to airborne school, then to RIP, and then I went off to 2nd Ranger Battalion up in Fort Lewis, Washington, now known as JBLM, Joint Base Lewis McChord. Served my time with 2nd Bat. Really cool experience, awesome. The only thing I miss is hanging out of helicopters, not falling out of planes with a parachute on. Got to do some fun stuff. Got to basically live every kid's dream of shooting machine guns and doing really cool stuff in the military. Got out of that and finished up college.
How many years did you?
What's that?
How many years did you serve?
I just did one enlistment with the battalions. So towards the end, I had a parachute landing that wasn't so nice. It eventually cost me a back surgery.
Yeah.
So in 2006, I actually had L4, L5 surgery to correct what was left of the disc in there, which was not much. So that pretty much ended any thought of doing anything else like that.
I mean, you're a big boy, so I mean that's a lot of weight coming out of an airplane.
Yeah, I don't fall so good.
Were you like 6'3"?
Yeah, 6'3".
Yeah, 6'3", probably what, 225, 240?
I was 265 when you saw me. I trimmed down a little bit.
Okay. So, yeah, that's a lot of weight coming down on your back.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't that big back then, though. I was a little skinny. I was a scrawny kid until I started competing in bodybuilding. I was like 195, 200 pounds back then.
No shit.
Yeah, I was a skinny boy.
String bean.
So yeah, I got out. I finished up college, got a business management degree. I thought I was going to go, wear a suit, drive BMW, and do finance and asset management. And
Yeah.
I did that for a couple of years, and I was like, man, this really sucks. And decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. And I went and actually got hired on with the police department out here, and I've been doing that for 16 years.
Wow, 16 years.
Well, like 15 years and like 8 months or something. So basically 16 years all round up.
Yeah. And how much time you got to put in before you can retire?
20 is the minimum, but you can like buy military years and retire early. So you basically pay a fee to the retirement system to buy your military service into it.
Yeah.
And you can retire early if you want. So we might be doing that just to get out to Tennessee a little early.
That's interesting. Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, if you're coming in a couple of years, then that, don't quit that soon. I mean, you're that close to retire
Right.
and getting that pension, kind of deal. Well, that's cool, man. So, what is it that you do with the PD there?
So I'm actually a patrol supervisor. I'm a sergeant out there. So
16 years. I mean, you didn't start at them. You came in as a
yeah, basic patrol officer.
Worked your way up.
Yeah, so I've been a sergeant for it'll be 8 years in a couple months.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service from the military and for the law enforcement, and I know our lead heads appreciate that also. Talk about during your military service, one incident or something that really stands out as a memory that you really hold on to. Not necessarily a bad thing, but a good experience.
It was pretty early on. I can't say their last names because some of them are still in and doing different things, but a guy named Ben, Bill, and Eric, we were on a team, and I'll never forget, we're riding in on helicopters, and one of them just hits me. We're hanging out of the door, and he's like, hey, look at that. And I just looked back because we were in one of the lead birds, and all you see is just a formation of Blackhawks, Little Birds, some other style of aircraft at the time, just kind of flying through this valley. And I was like, that's the kind of cool thing that I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that's just stuck with me. And I think that's probably why that's like one of the biggest things I miss. Every time I see a Black Hawk or something, I'm like, man, I just want one last ride hanging out of that door.
Yeah. Well, that's something that doing what you do, it opens up opportunities like that too, that, maybe you don't have the opportunity now, but it'll present itself again, I'm sure. Especially with your connections.
It almost did. There was actually I was going to be able to get to do it, but something just couldn't get that last approval, so I didn't get to take that last ride and dump a few rounds out of an aerial.
It'll happen. I see you eventually getting involved with movies and film and TV.
I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know if Hollywood's right for me, man.
Well, some of the people that do it that I know of, I never thought they would do it either, but they're doing it and having the time of their lives.
Yeah, very true.
So what about your 16 years in law enforcement? Compare, I know you weren't in it as long, but with the military, but compare the lifestyle of the military versus lifestyle of LE.
Oh man, there's some similarities, but it's just so different because everything you do, in the military is you pretty much have one objective, right? And that is to win whatever battle you're in, where using whatever tactics or equipment's available at the time. Where law enforcement is different because you are dealing with your own citizens, right? You're dealing with the Constitution, and you've got to make sure that while enforcing laws, you're also protecting those people's rights. So it's very, very different, the job type. And, there's some muddying of certain things between the two, like, the the uniforms, rank structures, academies, things like that, where it's like kind of a paramilitary style thing. But
Yeah.
in all reality, they're so different besides some of the tactics that you would do on like a SWAT team or something like that, that it's just not really the same. And then there's like a different, I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's a different style of camaraderie, I guess you could say.
Different mentality, maybe, would you say? Is there?
Yeah,
And
100%.
Yeah. And that kind of sets the camaraderie. I would think that kind of sets the camaraderie maybe different, because with the military, your life, and I know it's that way with the law enforcement too, but not as much, I would say.
Yeah.
Your life depends on your team, your buddy,
100%.
the person right next to you.
Like for all those dudes that were deployed for all those years, like every single day for years on end, you are going into objective after objective, day after day.
Yeah.
That's all those guys that were deployed. I mean, I know guys 8, 9, 10 deployments, things like that. It's like, Jesus, dude, like kind of, you're like, man, that's a lot of time out. And it's just different. Yeah. Because it's situations and scenarios come up, but it's not like being deployed in a combat zone. I mean, if you talk to anybody that's ever done that stuff, it's like every day the grind, and it's like firefights that go on all day, stuff like that. It's not anywhere near what you deal with in law enforcement.
Yeah. Where you're on these deployments, you're not going home to your family every night, where versus the LE, they're, they got a family to go, most of them. And I know that the LE is one of the highest, divorce rates and, whatnot, and careers that there are. But I mean, for the most part, so they don't have that amount of time, to hang together and be together and really bond, I guess. But there's still, like you said, it's different. It's a different kind of bonding, different kind of camaraderie.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, part of it is
not that it's any less. Yeah, not that it's any less. It's just different.
Yeah, because when you're in the military, especially if you're deployed, or even if you're just doing a training thing somewhere for a couple of months, like that is your family and you're with them nonstop. Whereas, unless I'm going somewhere for training, I get to go home to my wife every night and have a warm meal and food and water and comfort and a shower. Where in the military, if you're deployed for 8, 9, 10, 12 months or longer, you just don't see your family.
Yeah.
So your platoon members, your team members become sometimes even closer to you than your family, because your family doesn't understand what you're going through sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's a lot of people I know have kind of explained it to me that way when they spent a lot of time overseas. It was just, that was their family. And that, that's just mentally what happens when you start to rely on people like you would your family members.
Yeah. Well, more so when you're in those situations, because your life, depends on it.
Yeah, 100%.
And your goal is to get back to your family, so
yep.
Putting a lot of trust in those people. But, so 16 years with the LE, is it, I don't know how to say this. I'm not going to say it. Never mind. I'll just skip that part. Right. Let's go to the next question. So, both military and LE, that's good. What is your earliest recollection of being exposed to a firearm?
My dad's 22 revolver with like bone handles, and I was probably 4 or 5 the first time I saw it and got to hold it.
Yeah. When did he let you shoot it?
Funny story. I have never once fired that thing.
You not?
That I never fired that. He's still got it sitting in a cowboy belt that probably has 55, 60-year-old ammo in the little sleeves,
Yeah.
And I never saw him fire it either. The first gun I actually fired was a chrome pearl handled 32 ACP that was my grandmother's.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I think, if I recall right, I think my grandfather actually shot a guy at a truck stop with that gun.
Oh yeah, so it's got a little history behind it.
Yeah, I think when I was very young, I think my grandfather, he was a truck driver.
Yeah.
Somebody tried to rob him, and I think he took a round, and I think he shot the guy with that 32 ACP.
Oh shit! Did he kill him?
Yeah. I'd have to verify that. I don't remember. And my grandmother and my grandfather are both gone. And I was so young when it happened, but I remember I think he took a round like up into the arm or something. But my grandfather, absolute beast of a man.
Yeah.
He was an animal. Yeah.
Do you still have that? Is that still in the family, that revolver?
Well, the revolver that my dad has, yes. The 32 ACP,
32 ACP.
that was my grandmother's, it's probably with my aunt somewhere.
Yeah. That would be good if you could get that back from your aunt, and since it was the first one you ever shot.
That was, yeah. I shot it up
That'd
at
be
a
cool.
campsite in northern Arizona. Missed everything I aimed at.
Did your grandma, is she the one that was with you when you shot it?
No, my grandfather took it from her and took us out into the woods because we wouldn't leave him alone unless he took us shooting.
Oh, nice. You just pestered him into it. Nice.
Yep.
There's some story about my grandfather on my mom's side that he was in some sort of a shooting. I think he killed somebody too at some point in time. But it's one of those things, like your family didn't talk about it, kind of deal.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Let's just not talk about that part.
Yeah, but he was a World War II veteran.
Oh, yeah.
One of the greatest generation.
God, that
kind
was
of guys.
such a different generation, man. How did we go from that to where we're at now? Dudes wearing yoga pants.
It's our fault, man. It's our fault. It's our fault for not having kids. Me and you, we're the problem.
I got married too late in life, dude. I didn't get married until it'll be 5 years in April. But I was deep in my 30s before I met my wife. So
yeah, well, that's not too late. I was 28, I think, when I got married. My first.
Yeah, my wife's a little younger than me, though.
My first and only. Mine was like 11 years older than me.
Really?
I went the
opposite. Look at you, man.
Opposite direction, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're no longer married. That was a long time. It was decades ago.
Life happens, man.
It does, and it's not for everybody. But again, people with our values and our morals, we should at least be, being a mentor for these kids. Going out, even we don't have kids ourselves. Being a mentor, and I try to with my nieces and nephews, and to the extent that I can. But and my friends' kids, I love pestering my friends' kids and filling their heads full of ideas to take back to their mom and dad. They absolutely hate me for that. But, oh well. So that 32 ACP, cool. What was the first firearm that you could call your own that you bought yourself?
Oh God. I knew you were going to ask me that.
This might fall into our second category too, which is, is there or has there ever been a firearm or piece of kit that you're ashamed to admit to owning? That might fall into that category.
Oh, absolutely. But the first gun I ever personally bought was a Chrome Desert Eagle 50 cal.
Are you serious? You went balls to the wall, son. Oh my god.
So I was still in the Rangers, and one of our guys, Doc Pope, had bought the new H&K USP Tactical 485. It was like the hottest thing going.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. And then I went down to the store like 2 weeks later, and I was like, oh man, that thing's huge. I'll take that.
50 cal, I'll take that.
I'll take that big 50 Deagle, baby.
Oh my god. And they were, I don't know if they've come down yet or not, but they were, expensive back in the day.
I paid $1,100 for that gun in 2001, I think, and that's when I was still in the military. I took every penny I had to buy that gun.
Yeah, that was like your whole paycheck to pay for that son of a bitch.
Yeah, I didn't have a car, I had nothing, but I had me a Chrome.
You had a Deagle, baby. Check it out. Did you carry it?
$1.75 every time you pulled the trigger.
Oh my gosh! Not to mention the equipment and everything. Holster? Did you have a holster and all that? Were you carrying it?
Yeah.
Or was it just a showpiece?
No, I had a holster for it. I had a, I don't remember if it was Bianchi or something, but it was like a shoulder strapped inside this, because that was the only holster you could find for it. I think it's called a jackass rig because you're a jackass for wearing it, but that is the piece of kit
the
that
Don
I regret
Johnson
never buying.
The Don Johnson rig, Miami Vice.
100%. It wasn't like the full angled one. It was straight up and down because the thing was this long.
Oh god!
So it was like a shoulder strap, and then the holster at the bottom clipped into your belt, so it wasn't like flying all over. But Yeah, so that gun and that holster that went with it is my first gun and the worst piece of equipment that I was embarrassed and I've never told anybody about that I ever purchased. That's it.
Nice. I dig it. Do you still own it?
No. So I had to sell the Deagle years ago now because I was a poor, broke college kid and I literally couldn't pay my rent. So I had to liquidate most of my guns, and that was one that was most valuable at the time. So I had to sell it.
Yeah.
If I could ever find it again, because it was the original. It was before Magnum Research had made all the changes to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the old school one. And I still have the serial number. If I could ever find that one again, I would buy it. I didn't care what the cost was.
Yeah, you ought to try to track it down.
Yeah. Someday maybe.
You know people. You can get that done.
Right.
Deagle, oh my gosh. Were you jabbing yourself in the nuts, even shoulder carrying it when you'd sit down?
No, because it was off to the side, so it was there, but yeah, stupid. And then
gosh.
I don't know if that was the worst or the gun I bought next was the worst.
Oh, what was the next one?
So the second gun I bought, and it was because I got it for $270 at the time, was a Smith & Wesson SDV 40 that was gray.
Oh, yeah. I remember those. That was actually when I was looking for my first handgun to buy, I was seriously considering those. And I was on my way to Academy Sports.
Yep.
Because they were running a smoking deal on them. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to get one. And I, on the way, there was like a gun range gun store on the way to Academy. I was like, I'm just going to stop in here just for a second. Because I had a buddy that was working there. And I was telling him, I was like, hey, dude, I'm going to go get this. He goes, man, you're going to regret it. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. And they had, some rental guns, and they had a Glock, and they had, those. So I took them out, and I got to shoot them. That, versus the Glock. And I'm like, oh, dude, you're right. You're so right. So I, spent an extra $100 and got the Glock.
Yep. Well, but think about this too. When I bought that in the early 2000s, the ban was still on. So I paid $270 for the gun, and then I paid $80 for 3 magazines that were over 10 rounds.
Oh,
a piece. $80 a piece.
Oh, shit.
That's in 2001 or 2002, something like that, I think, when I bought that.
Yeah.
Up in Washington. In fact, the place, I think it was called Leeds in Washington in Tacoma or something. It was like an old bank that was converted to a gun shop. I think it's still there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's things that people don't think about, after they buy their gun, too, is got to get those mags. And thank God for Magpul, for coming in and and making compatible cheap magazines for some of these guns. Otherwise,
Well, it was the ban, because remember that was still under that assault weapons ban. So once that lifted, those mags weren't worth $10.
Yeah. How old are you?
But what's that?
How old are you?
That's an awfully personal question.
I know.
No, I'm 43.
Okay. So I'm 51. So
yeah.
And I don't think I bought my first handgun until it was about 2009 is when I bought my first.
Oh, wow.
2009, 2000. Yeah. I got in this. I mean, I always had guns, rifles and, stuff like that growing up, but I never had a handgun because of that ban. I always grew up with, there's this ban and it's bad and it's expensive, and that's the way I was raised. And when I found out, I was like, oh, I can actually own a handgun now? I was like, for real? And that's when I started getting more involved with my Second Amendment rights. And, it's like, I never knew that. I was like, I just haven't been paying attention to life. And, that's when I got more involved with it. And then like 2-3 years later, that's when I started this podcast. And it's like, more people should be educated about what's actually going on and what their rights are. And,
Yep.
There's
nothing like the federal government crapping on your constitutional rights for a ban or a rule or law that did effectively zero per their own study to affect crime at all.
It did the opposite. It actually increased. What happens when they make stuff illegal? You get more criminals that go into the business of selling the stuff because people want it. And
But the assault weapons ban effectively had no effect on crime.
No, it had zero. Like I said,
It didn't make any positive influence on it at all. It did effectively nothing.
it positively increased it, is what it did. It positively increased crime.
Yeah, it's just such a
that's
stupid
what the assault
thing.
weapons
I
ban
can't
did.
believe they ever got it through.
Well, I mean, and they continue to keep trying. Continue.
Well, because that was just the latest test of the waters. Remember, back in the days, and I'll call them FUDs because that's what they are. You don't need a shot. All you need is a shotgun and blah blah blah. Those people.
Yeah.
The ones that ceded away our rights for the NFA, the GCA, the auto weapons ban, all these things that the boomers just allowed to be taken away. I remember going into a store with my father, and he could have cleaned out the entire full auto selection, but didn't, because thought, nobody wants that crap, and then they banned them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you just lost $1 million because of everything on the wall you could have bought, but it effectively did nothing. Like nobody. I mean, there weren't any issues back then. It's not.
But that's not the narrative
issue
that they spin, and that's why it's so important for people like us to tell people and get this is actually what's happening and what's going on, and these are actually your rights, and this is what you can do, and what they're telling you is bullshit. And it's just like you said, and it just happened under Trump too with the bump stock.
Yeah, that was another retarded thing. Like,
it was completely.
If you want to go after what's killing people, go after the spoon and the fork, right?
Yeah.
Because food is killing more people.
Go after the social media. That's what that's killing more people than guns too.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's continue with the questions. So, did you get the 40? Did you get the Smith & Wesson?
Oh yeah, I got it. I had it for years and sold it to a guy. I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years after it, when I started realizing that thing really sucked.
Yeah. But it was a 40 cal. You went with the 40 cal. I did too. I went with the 40. That was I got the Glock 23. Was my first. I think I got it. Is it over there? No, I had it hanging on the wall over there. But I still
didn't go with 40 cal because I wanted 40. I went with it because that was actually a law enforcement trade-in gun that I bought. So it came with some of the high-capacity magazines that were illegal at the time, but since it was pre-ban, that's why it was a $270 gun and not an $85 gun, which is what it should have been at the time.
Yeah.
And it was just in 40 cal. Otherwise, I would have never bought a 40 cal because we all saw how 40 cal worked out.
I was in love with 40 cal for the longest, man. I loved the 40 cal.
I knew that round was a dead one right as they started carrying it. I was like, this will last about 8 or 9 years.
But you heard a story on how that came about, though, right? Through was it the FBI?
And that
bank
FBI
robbery.
Testing.
The bank robbery.
FBI went with it.
I think it was that Miami shootout that they had.
Yeah, the guy where they were using 9mm, and a couple of FBI agents got killed, and
they were using the 40s. They're like, we need a bigger round, so let's come out with the 40. Let's start using the 40, and that's when all of the law enforcement started going to 40.
So I think the one guy that they shot up towards the rear of that car that took all the 9mm rounds and kept fighting, I think he was an ex-Ranger.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah, somebody told me that when they did a breakdown of that study. I actually got to go to the FBI ballistic study lab one time when I was in an instructor course.
Here it is, the 1986 FBI Miami shootout, April 11th, 1986. And I've done this story on the show several years ago, but so finish. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
No, that was it. That I just got to go to a ballistics lab and study that was put on by some of the ballistics guys from that headquarters. I was in a firearms instructor course with the DEA, and I got to do that, and they went over that whole scenario and they talked about everything, and they asked that question, hey, are you any Ranger? I was like, yeah, there was a couple of us ex-bat guys in there, and this dude was, I was like, well, that's not a good look.
Yeah. Michael Lee Platt, and William Russell Maddox met while serving in the U.S. Army at Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's what happens when you put capable guys, in that situation. I was seeing if it had, here it is right here. In the aftermath, the FBI initially chose Smith & Wesson 1076 chambered for the 10 millimeter, but its sharp recoil proved too much for the agents to control, and special reduced velocity loading was developed, commonly referred to as 10 millimeter light, blah, 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 but then they eventually went with the 40 Smith & Wesson. So.
Yeah, 9 millimeter just hadn't ballistically gotten to where it is today.
No, and that's the thing. It's the advancements that they've made in ballistics have leaps and bounds over that now, and which is one of the reasons why I switched to 9. I was like, I mean, it just makes sense, perfect sense to do 9 now. It's more rounds, lighter, more accurate, deadly. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Handgun round. Now, rifle wise, what do you prefer? What's your preferred caliber?
I generally run 5.56 stuff. I've got other calibers. I've got 308 stuff, and I have 6.5 Creedmoor, and I've got a 6.5 PRC coming in, and I'll probably have maybe, I don't know, I'm really interested in 7 millimeter. Was it 7? Ultimate Reloader is just doing some videos on it. I think it was 7 millimeter PRC, and that round is angry, but you got to pretty much be able to reload it and stuff.
Yeah, it's not readily available.
I really stick to the NATO calibers. I mean, I've seen all these exotic rounds come up over the past 10 or 15 years, and everybody just hops on them, and this is the next thing. And then you're sitting there telling them, like, hey, dude, unless you want to spend like all of your lunch money on this ammo, buy something in a NATO caliber that's going to last.
The 22 was it 224 Valkyrie? Is that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You remember when that came out?
How many rounds have you seen the 6.8 SPC, the 6.5 Creedmoor, the 6.5 Grendel, 270 Win Mag, the 300 Blackout? Now you've got the 277 Fury and the 6.8 SPC. You got all the rounds that SIG has brought out for the new machine guns that people are going to start gearing up for. And, it's cool. I mean, if you want it and you can own it and you can afford to feed those things, then by all means go and do it. But when I'm looking for ammo, I don't want to be looking for, 6.8 SPC at $6 a shot, right? Yeah. When I can find 5.56 still reasonably. Some of those specialty rounds like the 6.5 Grendel, I mean, they have their place, but it's not like your everyday defensive round. Yeah.
It's not something you want to use for that. I've got a 6.5 Grendel that's great for the long range, hunting kind of stuff. Game.
What is it? 8.6 Blackout is the new one.
It's
nosediving already.
It's just endless. All the different ammo that they're coming out with. But you said 300 Blackout, and I really like the 300 Blackout round. I think it's a great mid range caliber and smooth shooter, and I love the 30 cal. I love the 7.62 by 3.9. You see all the AKs I've got.
But can you go to your local shop and buy basic bulk ammo for your 300 Blackout?
For the 300 Blackout, you can. Yeah, it's out there. It's available. Yeah.
So the fact that you said it's out there and I can't just go to the store and buy a box of it,
like bulk? No, I mean I don't. I haven't seen bulk anything other than like 9 millimeter or 223
NATO calibers.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You want stuff that the government is heavily invested in because there's going to be an endless supply of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I get
that. If those dirty, sticky-fingered feds would finally unload all of that 30-06 they've been sitting on since World War II, we would all be shooting 30-06.
Dude,
they have got like millions of rounds of that stuff just sitting there, and they blow it up. They literally det cord it, and they're blowing it up right now out on different bases to get rid of it.
That's ridiculous. If they would just release it to the public.
Yeah.
Lower our taxes, there we go. We'll pay for ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sell me some ammo. I'll be happy to, if you want me to pay taxes, give me ammo for my tax money.
100%.
That's a good trade-off, huh? Maybe I just solved our debt problem there. Just sell your excess ammo to the citizens' government, and money problem solved.
Yeah, it would be gone pretty quick.
It would be going just like that. One person would buy it all and then sell it to everybody else at a jacked up price.
Probably.
Yeah. Was that cheaper than dirt would go buy it all and then...
yeah, those guys.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, when it comes to pop culture, what is your go-to, whether it's a book or a movie, magazine, maybe, the social media stuff, I don't know. What it was just to your escapism, it's just like, this is where I go when I've got downtime and I'm just kicking it.
So I like to watch old, bad 80s action movies.
Right on. Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking like Big Trouble in Little China bad, or like The Last Dragon, something like that.
Stallone in, what was that, where he was it Snake or, I can't remember. Cobra, yeah. Stallone in Cobra, that was so horrible.
That movie is so bad.
Oh, it's terrible. But it's so good. It's one of those guilty pleasures,
Yeah, I just remember being super young as a kid, and that's what was on. So we watched them as kids and thought it was really cool. So now when I get to chill out, I'm like, I want to watch some really corny 80s movie,
The Goonies.
Oh, The Goonies is classic, yeah.
Right?
They need to remake that movie, man. Beetlejuice, all those old ones like that.
I just watched it a few days ago. I was like, it's been forever since I watched Beetlejuice. The Goonies. Yeah, I don't know if I want to see them remake that. It's like Red Dawn, they remade Red Dawn and they just ruined it for the next generations, because that's their Red Dawn now. It's like,
it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
They should have just called it something else and not try to make it Red Dawn, because that's what they ruin a lot of these remakes with, like Point Break. When they remade,
I never saw the remake of that.
It's horrible. Just call it something else and make it a different movie, because that's basically what you're doing.
What you need to do if you watch the new one, you have to go watch something that was equivalent in the old days. So if you watch the new Red Dawn, you got to immediately turn around and go watch Roadhouse.
Why not watch the old Red Dawn? He's like, oh, this was
that's what redeems you from having watched the new Red Dawn is going to watch Roadhouse.
Yeah, where he pulls the throat. The Billy Ray Cyrus looking guy.
Sam Elliott rolls up on his bike. The double douche.
Sam Elliott was classic too. I love him.
Yeah,
he's the best. Did you watch him in that TV series? It's like the Ranch or something like that.
In 1883.
Yeah, he was in 1883, but this was a TV series that he did with Ashton Kutcher. I think it was called The Ranch. You should watch that. It's good.
Yeah, we're in the middle of watching. We're up to date on Yellowstone. We're watching 1883, and then 1923 is next.
Yeah, I watched 1823. It was Yellowstone, yeah, it's the bomb. So I'm on the second episode of the season.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm getting caught up on it, but I love Yellowstone, man. It's
a good show.
So that guy that created it, Sheridan, what's his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does everything now. Every show you watch now, it's him. Like that one with Stallone, the new one with Stallone, Tulsa. That's his show. He created that one too. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm. No, I haven't seen that.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'll admit. Yeah, it's Stallone, but yeah, it's not bad. And what about Bruce Willis and all these B movies? Like he's been on like a B-roll movie binge. Like, that's all he makes.
I think he did that like so he could make a bunch of money and retire because he had like a stroke or something, didn't he?
He's got some sort of a mental disability. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I heard that he has to stop making movies because of that.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of just doing stuff to kind of
I think
cash in at chips.
Might have been why he was doing those movies is because he had some kind of screw loose or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I like the old Bruce Willis movies. Those were good too.
Yeah, right.
The Die Hards.
Yeah.
First couple were pretty good. I enjoyed those. What about music wise? I know you hit the gym and whatnot. What do you listen to get pumped up?
Yeah, dude. I mean, nothing gets me going like a little bit of like late '90s Gloria Estefan or something like that.
Little Miami Sound Machine.
Yeah, Little Miami Sound Machine. I am all over the place with music. I grew up, and my father and my grandparents and stuff. As much time as I spent around them going to like 50s car shows, building hot rods, I'm like truly born in the wrong generation. So I listen to a lot of like old music, like 50s stuff, 60s stuff. I like everything else, like 70s, 80s music and all that. But I really like older music that was just more simple and wasn't like every other word is like, F-bomb this and I'm going to do this to your girl kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, I love me some like rap where people are talking like that and shit too. But for the most part, dude, I like, kind of like more relaxed older music when I'm just listening to music. And then when I'm at the gym or something, I'll listen to like crazy hardcore shit. Stuff like Pantera and like.
I was just about to say, what about Pantera? That's awesome.
Yeah. Kill Switch Engage, and a good buddy of mine, Robbie Arnold, was actually the lead guitarist for a band called Chimera, and they were like a heavy metal band. He toured the world and got to go do shows with all those big bands, and
nice.
Actually got to meet a lot of those guys when he was in town, so it was actually really cool. I like
cool.
That stuff. I like everything though. Like I pretty much like most music out there.
I do too. Variety is the spice of life. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And for some reason, I can't listen to music while I work out. I have to listen to like a podcast or something.
Oh, really? See, yeah. I don't want to listen to stuff I have to pay attention to.
But I don't. I just kind of, it's just there. It's like background noise for the most part. But yeah. So you mentioned, Miami Vice, and I mentioned the Miami Sound Machine. Did you see the new Canic design?
That's what I'm looking at on screen. I have not seen that, but that is a train wreck gone wrong right there.
The Miami Days. It's got the pink.
Yeah,
there.
That's ugly.
It's got I dig it.
I like Canic, but that is one ugly ass pistol.
I dig it. I'm glad they went there. I was like, that's Miami Vice, baby. I love it.
Yeah. But hey,
homage.
You do whatever you want. Do whatever you want.
Well, and that was kind of our discussion was, everybody's different. Everybody's got a little different flavor, a little different taste, and I like the fact that they're showing that you can personalize your firearm. You can make it your own. You may not like this design, but guess what? You can go out and get any kind of design you want on them nowadays. There's
100%.
There's companies out there that do phenomenal jobs with the Cerakoting, like I just had them on the tip of my tongue. Their stuff is like phenomenal that they do. They make posts on the grams all the time.
DEFCON 3?
Not DEFCON 3. It's like, I don't know. I'll think of them in a minute. And I'm sorry, guys, for forgetting your name. They're going to kick my ass. But Blown Deadline.
Okay.
Have you ever seen their stuff?
Probably.
Check out Blown Deadline. They do some sick Cerakoting. They do a really good job.
I got to get actually one of my pistols off to Julius at DEF CON, man. And I've seen some of his work in hand, and I'm just like, good God, I got to do it. Even though I'm like totally not into the Gucci Glock thing anymore. I've got one or two, but I got to get one done by him, man. It's just too good.
You should at least get one that's got your logo on it,
Well, actually, Icarus Precision made me one of their all-metal SIG frames with my logo in it. I gave one away on the 100,000 giveaway.
Thanks for letting me know.
Right.
Oh,
those things are expensive, man. They're like $350 or something.
Yeah. What's the name of the company? I'm going to pull him up here on the grams and check out his work.
Icarus Precision.
IK or IC?
IC.
I see. There, yeah, came right up. Maybe I'm already following. I'm not. I need to follow. I will follow.
No, they make legit stuff.
Let me pull it up for our video audience here. But you guys go check this out.
Yeah, they've got different designs for like the P320s, the 365s. They actually, they have a couple more coming out that I don't think are out yet, so I can't talk about them. But they're for other, I'll say, Glock style pistols.
Is this the right one? Am I on the right? It says Icarus Precision.
Yeah, that's them. They have like their main account and then a backup too. So
okay. Oh yeah, they're not doing like Gucci stuff. They're doing, like battle worn kind of looking stuff. I dig that.
Wait till you get to the gold ones with like the.
There they are.
They got some Gucci going on.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can make your SIG P320 look like it belonged to Liberace if you want.
Here's a blown deadline. I'll show you those real quick. So something like that. I mean, they're doing.
That's a lot of work right there.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing some like detail.
That looks pricey.
Oh, I'm sure it's not cheap. So they're doing like a Mandalorian battle.
Yeah.
Like a battle scheme or something.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to pay a little bit for that, but again, you can. That's the point is you can personalize these and make them your own.
Yeah.
I think that's
like a car, do what you want to it.
That's what's really increased the, the interest in firearm ownership too. Is that people can go and they can do that.
Hey, I'm Adam with Canik USA, here talking about an exciting new addition to the Canik firearms line, the Canik Mete Pro Series. Each Canik Mete model will now feature a Pro version as well as a standard configuration, meaning you get all the amazing features that come with the Mete line, along with some serious upgrades. These upgrades start with an instantly noticeable feature in the new aggressive slide cuts, which not only look cool, but allow for easier manipulation of the firearm. Next is the chrome-plated, fluted 1/2 by 28 threaded barrel. The Pro Series also features tritium front sights and blacked-out rear sights. Finally, the world-famous Canik trigger is now a polymer 90-degree design. The first two available versions of the Pro Series will be the Canik Mete SFX and the Canik Mete SFT. But as I mentioned before, there's much more coming soon. Thanks for watching, and you can find out more about the Pro Series and all Canik products at CanikArms.com and CanikUSA.com. And don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can be informed of all the latest Canik news. And as always, stay safe and stay tuned.
Next question. All right. What is the next gotta have, want to have, when you've got the scratch or the time you're going to go get it? You're picking it up.
Like pistol or rifle?
Could be anything. Could be a pair of shoes. What's the next thing on your list? I mean, I just assume it's probably something firearms related, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a camera.
There's a couple of firearms I would like to buy, but I don't feel there's anything I need to run out and buy.
Yeah.
So I want to say that if I had the money to splurge on something, I'd probably end up just buying a new truck.
Yeah. Okay.
Not that mine's that old.
So what kind of truck would you get?
I'd buy a new one.
Because I've been looking at.
I've been looking
at the Defenders, like the 80s, 80 models, 80, 90s Defenders.
Yeah.
I've been looking at those.
Yeah. I would probably end up buying, because I already have some square body stuff, so like that 73 to 87 body style. I just sold my 67 not too long ago. It was all done. I've got a 56, so I'd probably buy a Tri-5 era, so like 55 to 57 Chevy short bed.
Okay. Into the Chevy pickups?
I'm into anything old, but shit, when it comes to trucks, bow tie is the way I go when they're old. Yeah. Old stuff. Pre-87 stuff.
Yeah. So what's new? What new were you eyeing truck-wise?
When it comes to new trucks, I would get another Titan XD. I've owned a bunch of the Nissan Titans, and I've never had a single problem. I've got hundreds of thousands of miles on them.
Yeah. Those and Toyotas, man, you just put miles and miles and miles on them.
Yep. Everybody else I know with a Ford or a Chevy, the things are just falling apart, dude, from the interior to the engines.
Yeah. My GMC's held up fairly well over the year. I got a 97 Yukon.
Oh yeah,
Got 300 and something thousand miles on it.
yeah.
I need to change the water pump out on it. It's been sitting for about a year. I haven't done that, but it's coming. The old lead sled, that's what I call it. It's got my wrap on it and everything.
Yeah.
So next question is, laws be damned, money be damned. What would you own?
Oof. Money's not an issue, and
Laws aren't an issue.
laws aren't an issue. Oh man, Toyota Hilux with a minigun mounted in the bed.
A Hilux with a minigun.
Hilux with a minigun, baby. Everybody's dream gun.
They are. And when I ask, what's your dream gun? That's 90% of the answer is the minigun, man. Just because
Yeah,
you got unlimited money, so you can get all the ammo you want for it.
yeah. It's kind of hard to get a GAU or something like that in the bed of a pickup truck.
Well, I mean, money be damned. You could buy it and make somebody that could make it
Well,
fit.
money and laws be damned. The best thing would be able to go is be an AC 130, because then you got the Vulcan, and then you got your auto load and howitzer and everything else right there. You just kind of hang out in the air doing a leftward orbit.
Right? That's the perfect zombie apocalypse machine to have right there. You just take them all out.
Yep.
Reign of death. Who did I have on? We were talking about that. They're called the Angel of Death. Is that what they call them?
There's a bunch of different names for it. Spooky, Spectre, Angel of Death, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, there's a bajillion different names in it.
Yeah. So AC 130. I get it. I love it.
Mhm.
If you could spend the day at the range with anyone or any group of people, they could still be living, they could be dead, they could be fictional. Who would you like to spend the day at the range with?
George Washington.
The old founding father, huh?
George Washington, just so he could see how far we've come, and he'd still be on board with us all having exactly what we should be able to have, which is everything.
So he would be against our current government. He would be ready to do another revolution.
I do believe that the group of founding fathers that probably wrote one of the most carefully drafted documents in the world's history knew exactly what government would try to do one day, which is exactly why they worded things they did. So if you want to change the Second Amendment, there's a process for that, and it's called an amendment. So you need to go back, have a convention of states, and redo a whole bunch of things and get everybody to sign off on it if you want to change that. And they knew that, which is why they wrote it the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
But we've eroded that over years and years.
Yeah. Lawyers. Damned old lawyers. Yeah, that would be, if time travel were possible, to go and round up that group of founding fathers and bring them to today's and say, is this what you envisioned? Is this how you saw things going? Or are they just going to go, dude?
Yeah. If you took a panel of government officials or Supreme Court justices from the mid 1800s up until probably 1920 something, or was it 26 when we got the income tax, they'd tell you everything that's been done is illegal.
Yeah. No doubt. But for some reason, it still got done. Go figure. So what projects do you have coming up on your YouTube channel that you can talk about?
Oh, man. So I got that long-range precision rifle there. I'm going to try to go a mile with that gun. I've got some new blackout defense stuff coming that's not all out in the public yet. I just got an ADM, their UIC full ambi lower end, and looking at the safe here. There's a couple new firearms coming out from existing companies that not very many people know about that are going to be their first version of that. Those are coming soon, which are going to be cool because one of them's known for precision stuff, and they're coming out with something totally opposite of what they've ever released before.
Is this like stuff that's going to drop at SHOT Show?
It's supposed to.
Gotcha. I know a lot of people
Hopefully.
still, I think you and I were talking about this, a lot of people still hold out till SHOT Show to, to release their newest for 2023, where, we were talking like, you should be releasing it like this, like October, November is when you should be really releasing that shit for 2023.
Yeah, it would probably make a little bit more sense in some instances to do that, because then you can get a hop on that market. But remember, they got to get rid of inventory.
That's true, but still, run that sooner.
Yeah.
Get rid of that inventory sooner, and then, because this is the time of year when people are really wanting to buy shit.
Yeah.
Change the cycle.
It
change the cycle. Make your own destiny.
It don't matter though, because as soon as all that new stuff drops, everybody's going to run right out and buy it again. So it doesn't matter.
That's true. Let's do some listener questions here. Did you reshare this on yours?
I did. I think I shared it in a story though.
Okay.
You might not have.
I was going to say, if you had questions that were on yours too, we'll take those too. Let's see. We'll do newest first. This is Skylar BK1. What's one of your favorite pistol caliber carbines?
Oh, CMMG Banshee.
Digging that one? And what do you like about it?
It's so.
You got it over there?
It's not as expensive of other things. Yeah, got it right here.
Yeah, bring it. Gun porn. We like it.
Right. So they didn't do that just straight blowback design. It's got that slight delay in it, so you get a better overall shooting setup. But the quality of stuff that CMMG does is just really good. I know they're not like an overly highly well-known brand. Like, you don't see them in every single store, but everything I have touched from them has just been super nice. So I dig it. I've got other PCCs, and this one just shoots better. I mean, it's more expensive than some, but it's a lot less expensive than others. So.
And is that like factory that you've got there, or is that some after stuff that you've done to yours?
So I added the little, Midwest Industries flash hider to give me some extension, because you can see that's rather short on a barrel.
Yeah.
So I added that, and then obviously the optic and the light, but it came pretty much how you see it here with the brace and charging handle, and pretty much the way it is. So CMMG does a good job of kind of outfitting their stuff too.
Yeah. I would say that, and this has kind of changed my mind because of the last AK corner that we had, the Draco 9S, the Draco that they've got that takes the, not Scorpion, but is it Scorpion mags? You got one there?
Well, this is the Palmetto State AKV9.
Yeah, the
also
AKV9.
good.
But I'm digging the Century Arms Draco because it doesn't take the Glock mags anymore. They've got one that still does the Glock mags, but they've got this one that takes the
CZ Scorpion.
the Scorpion mags now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got that classic kind of AK curved magazine look to it.
Yeah, the CZ Scorpion's good too. I mean, I think it's probably the most proven one in that kind of spectrum, but it's just a little wonky for me, like the way it's set up.
Yeah. I dig the Sub 2000, Kel-Tec Sub 2000 9mm pistol caliber. They fold in half, and
I think I've shot it like once.
Dude, they're like super accurate. Super accurate.
Yeah.
It's right out of the box. Yeah. Love mine. That was Skylar. Let's see. Wyatt Stevenson. Have you ever owned or shot a Norinco 84S? If so, what are your thoughts on the rifle? That's more of an AK corner question.
Yeah.
But I have.
I have not. The only AK that I personally own is my M70, my Z-Pap. So
yeah. This is the 5.56 version that they've got out. And, we had a really good discussion about this on this month's AK Corner. I had Professor Paul Markle with Student of the Gun on, and, he made a really good point about, the AK-47 was specifically designed around a round, the 7.62 by 3.9, and it shoots that round really well. And that's what it was designed to shoot. It wasn't designed to shoot a 5.56, NATO, even though it shoots it just fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But you're kind of underutilizing what the rifle was designed for, by going that route. But it shot good. My buddy Drew, you guys have heard Drew. He's been on the show several times. He's got one, and he's let me. We've taken it out to the range several times and shot it. So, I had a lot of questions about 5.45 on the last AK Corner too. People wanting more 5.45 caliber rifles come out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one. I mean, I'm gonna get some more AKs. I mean, I've shot a ton of them. I've never owned them because I grew up in the military with M4s and stuff like that. So the AR civilian,
that's why
the AR in the civilian sector is just what I'm used to.
That's why I started the AK Corners, because I wanted to get more familiar with the AK. Because I was a diehard AR guy, and that's all I would own. Yeah. And I was like, fuck the AK. It's trash. But then as I started getting into them, learning more about them, I've slowly converted over to the AKs. I really like AKs. I like my ARs too, but I really like my AKs.
So I think it was Fuller that said this when I was up at Haley Strategic one day, and he was like, the AK is the only gun that you can build poorly and completely out of spec and terribly, and it'll still run. Now the question is, how long will it run? You don't know, but it will still run, which cannot be said for other things, because if you don't build them just right, they ain't gonna run at all.
No, but and to his point, yes, you can to a certain extent, but they can blow up in your face too if you don't get
a trunnion will just mar itself to death and then fly apart on you. And
if you don't get that headspace right, whereas an AR is a little different. Ton Jones, you remember?
Ton, yeah,
remember Ton. When are you coming to Texas and shoot some big ass air guns and do some barbecuing?
February, dude. I am marking. I just talked to him on the phone last week. I am super excited to get like an air gun and do some air gun stuff, because you can get an air gun and a suppressor, walk out the door, fill your tank, and take care of all the damn vermins on your property. But I'm just like,
you can have it sent to your doorstep. You can order them, have them sent right to your doorstep.
But I'm going to make a trip out of it and go out there and hang out. And
he's been on my ass too to come out there too. And I mean, for nothing else but just his cooking. Have you seen that boy cook?
Yeah. Let's hold hands and do it together. We'll all go out there.
I'm in. We could call it my birthday celebration, because my birthday's in February.
Dude, because I'm in SHOT Show all week, but I definitely want to do it like February, March. I sure as hell don't want to do it in the summer.
No.
Yeah.
No, we got to give him time to get his roof fixed too. He just got hit with a storm.
Yeah.
Old Tennessean, what's the one firearm you had the opportunity to use but couldn't keep and missed the most?
That Deagle, man.
Deagle? I was going to say that.
It haunts me that it's gone. Besides that, the only two things that are not currently in my possession but will be someday is my father's saddle guns. So he's had some 94s and 74s that are very, very old. Had them many, many decades, and someday those will be mine.
Nice. I got my dad's 94, and I bought another one at an auction not too long ago. I love those lever guns, man.
Yeah. Very cool.
And then the one I missed the most, my very first AR-15 that I bought, it was like a Frankenstein. I bought it at a gun store, and it had ARMS arms. It had an arms rail on it.
Oh, yeah.
And it had a custom, it was a barrel shroud on it, but it had like the cheese grater look to it.
Yeah.
I loved that thing.
Yeah, I did a video. I still have the first AR I ever bought. It was a Bushmaster optics ready carbine that had like an 8-inch, I think it was Yankee Hill machine rail, like an 8-inch rail and a 16-inch barrel.
Yeah.
A gas block flip up front sight post. I mean, at its time, because it was post ban, it's like 2007 or something. I bought that thing.
Yeah.
It was like hot, had a bayonet lug on it and everything,
nice.
you know, stupid. I just rebuilt it. I did a video on the original one, then I did a video on the rebuild. So I love it now. I put a brand new barrel in it, blackout defense barrel. I think I used on that one. I put a MCMR rail from BCM, and I put new stocks, and I put a Geisley single stage trigger in it. It's all beautiful now.
I think I have a picture of my first AR. Let me see.
It's crazy when you look back at how things used to look when they were trying to get around like the barrel shroud, the muzzle device things.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah. Is this it? That's not it. I've got a picture of that somewhere. I'll have to find
it. Did its job though, because mine was one of the old Wyndham weaponry. It was like the Wyndham brand before Bushmaster moved and turned to crap.
I can't remember what lower this one had on it. Because at the time, I mean, this was my very first like gun that I bought myself. This was before I bought my handgun. I bought this AR.
It was like an Olympic Arms lower.
I don't know. I mean, it might have been like an Anderson or something. I don't know. I can't remember what it was. I'll have to get my pictures and see. But it was just a Frankenstein build that somebody had built. But they'd done a really good job. I mean, it was solid. It was a solid build, and I love that arms rail that was on it. It's A period, R period, M period, S period.
Oh yeah, I've got an arms optic mount that I just gave away with the first scope I was ever able to buy.
Right. But that shit, I haven't looked them up lately, but back in the day, that shit wasn't cheap. It was expensive.
Oh no, that was hot stuff back in the day.
Yeah, it was. All right. Taro 75. Tactical considerations. What were some of the difficult obstacles you had to overcome to reach the success you now have as one of the premier YouTube influencers? And do you like to be called an influencer?
Oh, I don't care what people call me. I've been called so much weird shit in my life, it doesn't matter. No, YouTuber, influencer, I don't care. I don't look at it as like influence. I look at it as just giving people information like, hey, here, look at this, or don't look at this, or pay attention to this. That's how I look at it.
You're an educator. You're not an influencer.
Yeah, because I fell victim to buying so much bad crap, by marketing. Magazines will give you the worst information possible.
Oh, yeah.
That is a 100% paid for ad in that article.
That is shill.
Yeah.
But it's really not, because they're paying for that article,
Yeah. And I've written some articles too, but I do it in a very, here's the item, here's the thing.
Here's
you
the
gotta
facts.
Be careful with that.
These are the facts. Nothing but the facts.
Yeah, like it's kind of like, this is what it is. This is how you use it. I mean, you got to be careful when you're writing articles. Like, I've read some things where it's like revolutionary. I'm like, oh God, who wrote this? I'm just like, I'm laughing already.
Somebody who's getting paid.
Yeah, 100%.
And you can tell by the words that they use. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. One, thank you for that. I don't know if I'm one of the premier guys out there. There's a lot bigger channels than mine. But the obstacles are really going to be, that once you come up to speed on like what you need as far as equipment, audio, visual, lighting wise, it's really just going to be yourself, right? Like, not second guessing yourself when you're making videos and having the confidence to make mistakes. I mean, I've said shit in videos that I was like, I thought it was right at the time and it was completely wrong, or something changes, or a spec changes, or you forget something, or you say the wrong thing. And I'm just like, look, man, that video's out there. You eat me alive in the comments. I don't care. I'm a big boy. I got my big boy pants on, and I'm just going to keep doing my thing.
Yeah.
So it's really, the obstacle is yourself, because anybody can, if I can pick up a camera and learn how to take video and photo and learn how to edit, because I am like super not artistic, right? I learned from watching other people. If I can do that, pretty much anybody out there can, as long as you are truthful to your audience.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that too is it doesn't happen overnight. You just don't learn by picking it up and then you've got to put time in with it. You got to put the research, and that's what you did. You didn't just like pick it up and then it just came to you all of a sudden and you learned it. And that's what a lot of people get frustrated with, is when the success doesn't come, just like that.
Oh, you're going to fail a lot.
And
I mean, I still fail.
Look at all the YouTube channels that are all out there. Look at all the podcasts that are out there now. I mean, there's like something like over 2 million podcasts out there now. When I started, there was, maybe 100,000 or, and we were like one of the only firearms related ones, so.
Yeah. Podcasts are like the YouTube of the early 2000s now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you got to do something that's going to set yourself apart too. Don't try to copy somebody else. Just put your own, your own flavor, your own flair, and be honest to yourself. Don't worry about what other people think.
Yeah, 100%. Eventually people will start showing up because, one, they can trust you, and two, because it's you, right? You develop relationships, online with your audience.
And just like you said, everybody's not going to like you or like what you have to say. And you got to be able to just brush that off your back and move on, because the majority of the people that are watching and listening to you do care about what you have to say and appreciate it.
Yeah, have thick skin, because that comment section will eat you alive sometimes.
Just don't read it.
Hey, Leadheads, Dwight Settle with Seal One. Just here to talk to you and tell you a little bit about our product. Seal One CLP Plus is a bio-based, non-toxic product. It comes in a paste, liquid, aerosol, and pre-saturated bore-specific patches called sealskins. They all do the same thing, just different methods of application. The best way to use our product is to start with a clean firearm. There's two reasons why I say that. First, you start with the Seal One CLP Plus by field stripping your firearm and covering the entire firearm inside and out, bore, barrel, everything with the Seal One CLP Plus. You'll see how easy it spreads around. You'll want to wait about 15 to 20 minutes. Then you come back and you want to wipe it all off. So you see how easy it is to put on and remove. And the second reason we say to use a clean firearm is you'll find that it's not clean. We're going to pull out more carbon that's been left behind with whatever product you've been using before. Okay, it takes about 3 cleanings, so I like to say a clean shoot, clean shoot, clean shoot, just normal usage before the Seal One CLP Plus has removed whatever product that you were using before and has seasoned the firearm. It's kind of like breaking in a cast iron skillet. And after that first cleaning, you will notice a difference. And with each successive cleaning, you will find that it gets easier and easier to clean. Seal One CLP Plus is a dry lubricant and is designed to work as such. You will find that malfunctions are virtually eliminated when used properly, because the majority of all malfunctions are caused to carbon buildup. And with the Seal One CLP Plus, the carbon does not build up. Seal One CLP Plus is safe on all metals, plastics, composites, polymers, rubber, wood, and leather. Seal One CLP Plus is a one-and-done formulation. No other products are required or needed to clean and lubricate and protect your firearm. That's why we say Seal One and done. Seal One is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade. Use the code LEADHEAD for a 25% off discount.
Let's see. Fled Munitions. Do you ever find it taxing to keep up with today's fast-paced content while trying to stay within YouTube guidelines?
100%. So I got demonetized a couple months ago. And it was kind of one of those, like, we made a mistake, your channel's fine kind of things, but it cost me 3 months worth of revenue, basically. It's difficult because stuff changes pretty quickly. But I will say generally you get a notification or an email of what changes are coming. Where the issues come up with people is there's different policies for YouTube and then the YouTube partner program if you're part of that. And the ones for the partner program are more stringent than the YouTube regular guidelines. And they're very clear for the most part. What isn't clear is sometimes when decisions are made on them by somebody at YouTube, it's like they don't know their own rules.
Yeah.
And that part gets frustrating when you have a video that is 100% within policy and you have followed every rule. You've stayed on the rails because I don't own YouTube. I don't own Google. I don't own Alphabet. I don't own their infrastructure and their $1 billion worth of hard drives. I'm just a dude that gets to use that service for free to make money on, right? Because they're going to show ads, or maybe somebody uses one of my affiliate links. So I play by the rules, because if I get deleted, what good does that do? So it's frustrating when you spend so much time making a video in a specific way, using everything that they want you to do as rules, and then they demonetize it or take it down. Or like my buddy Jonathan from Tactical Toolbox gave him like 2 strikes in a week for videos that did not go against the rules. It was just like, hey, arbitrary decision, bang, goodbye.
And that's tough. And the first thing about it is you can't appeal it. I mean, you can appeal, and then if they override your appeal, then that's it. You have no other form of stating your case and trying to plead your case.
Yeah, and until you have almost 1 million subscribers, you don't get direct contact with anyone at YouTube.
Yeah, and they just cut you off. And plus, I mean, you've been doing it for 3 years, so I mean, I guarantee you've got content out there that you forgot that you've put out there. 10 years that I've been doing this, and stuff that I've got 10 years ago. I just got a strike the other day for a video that was like 8 years ago that I completely forgot that I had out there. And it was like, you get a strike, there's no contesting it, no anything, boom, no warnings, no nothing.
Yeah. So I went back and I actually removed videos. I edited videos in YouTube and cut parts out, and it took me months, because when all the rule changes were coming, I was like, okay, I've got to go back through things. And I literally cut out, removed so much stuff, and it took so long.
Yeah.
But if you take the video down, that hurts your channel. You lose analytics. You start like the death spiral on YouTube. So that's the frustrating part, because the rules change, but it's retroactive too.
But it's very unrealistic of them, especially, like I said, for somebody who's had a channel for like 10 years and the content that they've got up, that I'm not going to go through 10 years of content and see what's, violated your new rules. You're all of a sudden these new rules that didn't exist then. There should be some sort of a grandfathering thing. Is like, if you posted after, we've made this new rule, then from there forward. Or if we find one that's older than that, let's give you a notification. Say, hey, this video we found is, questionable to our new rules. Would you look it over and give you the opportunity to fix it, rather than just you're done?
Yeah, and I think that would be a very amenable solution, is to say, hey, we found this. The rules now say you can't have this, so edit it out or take the video down. I'd be more than happy with that. Like I said, not my infrastructure. I didn't own it. I don't build it. But give me the chance.
Yeah.
Just, I want to play by the rules. Tell me how to stay on the rails, and I'll do it, right?
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Yeah, and then there's a point where you got to pack your balls up and walk away.
Yeah. Good question, Flood. And Flood's starting off. He's a new YouTuber influencer, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's a great question, because you're going to run into a lot of brick walls. Just face it.
And I had another guy who's trying to start up. He actually wants to talk to me about some tips and things, but I don't know if he wants me to say anything about it. So, B. Hurst, what's a good minimalist IFAK setup for range day? I've seen some things at ranges that make me wonder. No RO in the middle of the woods at Watershed.
So for a minimalist IFAK, that's first of all going to depend on your training experience. If you don't know how to use anything in there, it's all worthless.
True.
What I will say is, go find somewhere or a company around you that has a Stop the Bleed class. I think you can actually use your retirement health savings or health savings account, if you have insurance, that'll actually pay for the class and the kit, and they send you home with a full blowout kit, and you don't have the training and experience to use all the stuff that's in it.
Nice.
That would be my first thing if you've had no training and you just want a good, decent kit. I've got different ones from Live the Creed. I've got HSGI kits. I've got everything. In all reality, The best med kit is the one you have on you. Have a tourniquet and have some chest seals and have some quick clot. Keep them in a sterile, safe, dry environment and know how to use them. And that's really the best advice I can give you. A tourniquet's pretty simple. You just got to make sure it's tight enough. A chest seal is very simple. You just got to know, hey, how many do I need for how many holes? And then, quick clot, depending on where the wound is, right? You don't pack the chest cavity. You don't pack the throat. If you're packing a wound somewhere in the pelvic girdle area low, or the femoral or something, or low leg, know how to use it, know how to pack it, know the speed at which you have to pack it. And there's videos out there you can watch and see, but there's a stop the bleed class almost everywhere. That would be my recommendation, especially if you got zero training experience, because that's going to set you off on the right foot.
Good answer. Like that. Guns, Oil, and Dirt. Another new YouTuber, podcaster on the scene. What piece of kit or random thing do you find most useful that most people overlook? It's a good question.
Oh, wow. Like a piece of kit that most people overlook. If I had to pick a tool, it'd be my old Leatherman.
Multi-tool.
Because when I need something and I'm walking around, that old little Leatherman that I've got has been handy, and I've owned it for 20 years. I've had that ever since I was a kid.
You know how to improvise with it.
What's that?
I said you know how to improvise with it.
100%. Such an adaptive tool. The other thing I would say secondarily that a lot of people forget about is location services devices, right? Know where you are, whether it's a GPS device or the GPS on your phone. Because I like to go do things outdoors. I know a lot of friends that do, traveling different waterways or forests, and the worst thing you can do is not have a proper location, and then to compound that, not know how to read a topographic map and use it to your advantage.
Yeah. I would say some sort of a non-electronic, like a compass, would be key.
Yeah, old school compass, and know where you are in the U.S. to set your declination, and how to figure out where you are between true north and magnetic north, and life skills, man. And know where the moss grows, right?
Don't go hiking in bear-infested area with your kids, with your
or in Arizona, Arizona people go hiking dead summer, 120 degrees, with a 16-ounce water bottle up Camelback and die every year.
Yeah. I was watching some video and his family. This guy's got his baby in the backpack hiking, and he's got like a little toddler walking next to him, and this bear's coming up behind him, and the mom's filming.
Yeah.
This, and they're just yelling at the bear, go away, bear, go away, bear, go, bear.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have put yourself in that situation to begin with.
Or if you're going to have like the proper defensive mechanisms.
Yeah, have some spray. And all right, next question. Bailey Muller 80. What are your general thoughts on the NGSW program? Do you feel that developing new weapon platforms was the right move, or should resources have been more focused in a different area?
I actually read that question. So here's the thing. We've been buried in the same 249s and 240s and different versions of them, and the Modus and all of those crew serve weapon systems for a very long time, and squad automatic weapons for almost 40 years, I think now. Not that they're bad. I mean, trust me, I love some 240, but why not continue to innovate and get more power, performance, carryability options? Technology is always advancing, and if you're not advancing your technology when it comes to pretty much every weapon system, you're falling behind. That being said, we dumped a lot of money into those programs, and the companies that didn't get the contracts were like Texton, General Dynamics, and somebody else, wasted a lot of money ultimately. But the military is not quick to change. The government is not quick to change, but usually when they do, when it comes to weapon systems, a great many times it's good. Going away from certain rocket launcher systems or, handheld missile systems like Laws and AT-4s and stuff to like a system like the Javelin. I was one of the very first people that got trained on a Javelin. That thing was like revolutionary.
Did you get to use it in real life?
Fire and forget. No, I never got to fire one in real life. Only the training one, which was stupid. But I mean, think about how cool that is to have a fire and forget tube, computer guided self. I mean, that's that technological growth you want, because that keeps you a level up. When it comes to the guys kicking doors and the maggots that are dug in, throwing lead down range on the objective before the door kickers get there, you want the best, hottest round you can throw, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. Did I think SIG was going to get all the contracts? No.
That was political. That was political.
I'm just wondering who's got money in that company to the point where they made that decision. Because it just seems odd that they've just got everything: ammo, weapons, pistols, cruiser.
The general that was in charge of making that decision had a buddy at SIG, apparently.
Oh man,
go check his bank account and tell me different.
I've seen them; they're cool. I mean, I've had them all in my hand. They're badass weapon systems, that's for sure. So if it's an advancement, I'm all for it. If we're wasting money on the military-industrial complex just to waste money, not cool with it. But if it's an advancement that's going to help our guys and girls in uniform, then I'm all for it. Spend the money.
Amen. What is the most surprising piece of kit that you expected not to like at all? Giddy up, ask that.
That's a tough one. Holster-wise. So Alien Gear holsters. I didn't have per se like a really bad opinion, but I didn't have a very high opinion of them. And I wanted to test out some of the other retention holsters in the market, because Safariland really kind of sucks. They're just by default.
Yeah.
The brand that you go with. And I got their Rapid Duty Force level 3 retention holster, which I carry a level 1, so it's thumb brake only, usually when I'm working. And I took that holster out, did a couple draws, got used to it, and that thing is fire. That holster's badass.
And it's Alien Gear?
The Alien Gear Rapid Duty Force holster. So it's a level 3 retention holster that I think out on the range I was doing like 0.9, 0.93, and I think I got a couple 0.87 first round on target from a level 3 holster.
That's impressive.
So that I'm not that fast generally. So that holster was solid. I still use it. It's up on one of my belts right there. It's pretty legit. I did not think I thought I was gonna tear it apart basically. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good. So I kind of had to eat some crow on that one.
Just checking the Facebook, see if I had any questions on there. It didn't post to Facebook. I think we just got a couple more here. What is your go-to rifle and the setup on it? Mustang Perry.
So my main squeeze right now is a Blackout Defense 13.7 Aimpoint H2 on it, Cloud Defensive Light on it. It's got their trigger in it. I run it with a dead air can, and I haven't decided which IR laser device is going on it yet, but that if I had to reach for something, that would be the one I'd reach for first right now.
And kind of go with that, B. Hurst, which pistol lights do you prefer?
So I think for the money, I think Streamlight's the best option out there. I love some Surefire, but you're talking the difference of like $200 between a TLR1 HL, the high lumen 1000 lumen Streamlight, and like the X300. It's like $200 more or something. So I've personally used Streamlights for a very long time, and I've got Surefires. And
I think it's tried Enforce? Have you tried the Enforce?
Yeah, I've had a couple of Enforce lights. I've had a decent experience with them. They're not bad. The one thing is like their battery panel, switch panel seems to keep having problems popping open on its own and stuff like that. I've actually still got an old APLC that's in my backpack gun, the original one, and it's got I think it's only on the second battery, and it's got to be 4 years old. So there's no phantom battery drain on that one.
Yeah.
But I just am a fan of the Streamlights. I've used them a lot. I've seen the beatings they can take. I've seen them when our motorcycle officers get in wrecks and the rifle that's on the rack gets smashed into the ground and goes flying. The two things you can count on that are still going to work on that rifle are the aim point optic and the Streamlight light that's on there.
What did you use when you were Ranger?
We had Surefires.
You had Surefires there?
Yeah, but I mean, when you're in the military, especially if you're in a special operations community, that gear is awesome, but you don't have to pay for it.
Right, but again, buy it once, cry once, kind of deal.
True, but think about how fast light technology is changing. Yeah. Right, so you buy a light 16 months ago, and now Cloud Defensive will give you a light twice as bright that reaches twice as far.
But again, with technology, you can't wait because you're going to keep waiting and waiting and waiting. So you gotta, you just gotta go ahead and jump on something and buy it.
I'm not saying wait, but I try to find where's that happy median between price, quality,
sure,
and usability, like that effectiveness of that. And I think Streamlight fits that really well. Because there's no way I could afford to outfit every one of my rifles with a Surefire, man. It's just too much.
Yeah. I mean, just trying to outfit all of them with a light, period,
Yeah.
There's so many. I think that's most of the questions there, and we've talked about the other stuff through these. So for the 3 years that you've been doing this, the YouTube, it started as a bet. It's probably from one of your former Ranger buddies there, huh? that dared you to do this.
They would like to remain nameless.
The anonymous. But
right.
You're probably thinking them now, no doubt. I mean, you seem to be really enjoying this. We had a really good time at the lockdown event there. The opportunities that the doors that it's opened up and opportunities. I mean, I'm sure in the long run you look back, you're like, I appreciate you making that dare, dude. What's been like the most gratifying experience through your travels up to where you're at now with the YouTube experience that you've had? Maybe it's a person that you've met, or an event that you've been to, or maybe you ran into one of your subscribers.
So it's funny. I run into subscribers all the time, which is pretty cool. But you have those milestones where you're like, oh, you get your first 1,000, and you get your first 10,000, then you're like 25,000, you're 50, and then you get 100,000. But I think really the things that stick with me are all the events that I've been able to go to, because you get to meet a lot of the other people. And it's funny because I think people don't understand sometimes that are outside the 2A community just how welcoming and nice and genuine most of these people really are. And that's one of the things, I was just at a hunt with American Outdoor Brands in Missouri in the National Deer Association. And there was one of the attendees was from Oregon, a very liberal place, grew up there and had a very different upbringing and mentality and thought process. And when she began to work for the company, one of the things that she said there was, hunters and people in the Second Amendment community do more to care for animals and the earth than any activist I've ever met. And it's true. And everybody there was just open arms, welcoming, just happy to help. And that's why I think the events always stick with me, because you get to meet just really good, cool people that want to have fun and are just genuine and would literally give you the shirt off the back right there. Like when we were out there and it started snowing on the range day, I gave Ton my jacket. I had no idea who the man was. I'm like, dude, you're wearing shorts and a t-shirt. You need some cold weather. So I handed him my raincoat because I had bought some gear with me, and I gave it to him. It was a little small for him, so I gave it back. But I'm like, dude, we got to get you some clothes, brother. Like you're gonna get sick or something, or
but
it's
he wears
suck.
shorts.
I want you to have a good time.
He wears shorts in every weather condition. Yeah, that's just him,
Well, but that's just kind of how it was. Like I Hey, here's my jacket. I've got a sweater too. Here you go.
And that's the way
that is the community.
Everybody at that event was too, and everybody was helping everybody. Somebody needed something or couldn't figure something out. It wasn't like, oh, you dumbass, or blah, blah. It was like, hey, let me show you, let me help you with that. Even those range, instructors were dealing.
The dumbass comes later when we're drinking at the bar.
Yeah. But no, we get it. And, we talk about that at nauseum here on the show. But that's the point, and that's what we want to convey, is that we're trying to bust that stigmatism that the leftist liberal media gives us as being the redneck good old boy network that wants to overthrow the government. We are the most diverse, most welcoming community that there is. We welcome all races, all preferences, all religions, all sexes, all everything.
Yeah.
All ages. We're not ageist either. Everyone is welcome to enjoy their Second Amendment rights, and we want you to do it responsibly and go out of our way for that. And yeah, man, and we're glad you're a part of it, because you're a good example of a responsible, America-loving 2A activist, and we appreciate it. You're my hero. You get a ride on Lead Force One, Mike.
Jesus, yeah, right.
It's nice, man. It's plush. It's got Corinthian leather seats. We got nothing but the top food and drinks on Air Force One.
Nice.
The crew, knockouts. You can bring your wife too. Yeah, it's cool. Since you're a married man. But man, I really appreciate the opportunity to have you on the show, getting to know you a lot better. We didn't really have the chance to talk a lot at the event. I mean, there's so much going on there. And they really kept us busy. But I've been ever since then been wanting to get to know you a little better, and I thought, what better way than to have you on the show, and not only me, but let our listeners get to know you a little better too.
Yeah, 100%, man. I was definitely busy. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
up there.
Yeah,
you kind of you fell in with the people right next to you, and that's about who you got to talk to, because everything just kept going.
Yeah, you just kind of had to grab a root and growl and hang on for the ride. But it was good. I hope they do another one. It was very enjoyable. But maybe we can get together and we can do some things in the near future. Would love to have you back on. Hopefully, if I make it to SHOT Show, maybe we can hang out there and do some things too.
Yeah, 100%, man. Then do like a air gun barbecue weekend in Texas.
Oh, we definitely got to make that happen. We got to get with Ton and go down there and do some air gun popping with the 50 cal and all that. Oh, have you seen
no idea what they had, dude?
Have you seen their Bolt? They got a Bolt air gun out now that shoots arrows.
Oh, the arrows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, remember we were talking about that up there. He finally got like the arrows that won't like fracture when they fire.
They got it. They got it like tuned in and work. I think they've got it out now. I think it's available. It's either this month or next month. They're going to have it for sale. Yeah,
that's crazy, dude.
I know. I want to shoot that. That'll be so fun.
Yeah, I want to shoot them all.
True. I want to take them all for a spin. But tell everybody where they can go and your YouTube, your social medias. You got a website, all that stuff. You got swag.
Yeah, so the YouTube is just Tactical Considerations. Same thing with Instagram and every other social media platform that I'm on. And then my website is tacticalconsiderations.com. So that's like the blog site where it has like, all the videos are all linked there. So you don't have to be on YouTube. You can watch them all there on the specific page. That's, of course, where all like the affiliate links and all that stuff are, because that's how most of us keep our channels going. If you like something we've done a video on, you click the link, and it helps us by getting a small commission on there. And then one company that I just started doing some stuff with, where they gave a pretty good discount, was Iron Infidel for their like hydro flask bottles. I think I got one sitting around here somewhere. Anyways,
cool.
Oh, it's in this bag, but they're awesome because it's like a big like 60-ounce hydro flask that comes in like a case, and it's got like a handle, and you put your cell phone in it, so you take it to the gym or take it hiking.
Yeah.
Those are super cool. But
cool.
It helps just because that's what pays for the camera gear and all that stuff. And
yeah,
most people, I mean, if they're going to buy the item anyways, you know, they're more than willing to help you out. So
oh yeah,
it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't cost them anything. It's just they've already built that into their marketing expenses.
Yeah. So you go. So you're talking about this link on Instagram. You can go. You click on that link in his bio, and then it gives you links to his YouTube channel, his shirts, hats, and I guess where you can get some discounts, some things. There's Patreon, My Store, Amazon. We got My Store, Amazon. What's that?
That's just like some of like my favorite items that I found on Amazon and all that stuff.
Okay. And then
you know, like
there's
the lights and different things you can get just shipped direct to you. But yeah, that link tree on Instagram will show you most of the stuff, and then, you know, it's all the same directed social media sites, or my personal website, the tacticalconsiderations.com, are all from there. So
very cool. Guys, go check them out. Tactical Considerations. Mike, it's been a pleasure having you on. And lead heads, make sure if you haven't entered the big 10-year giveaway that we're doing, go and do that. Go and support our sponsors and show them love, and you do that by going to their websites and buying stuff and using these discount codes. Mission First Tactical, use code LEADHEAD. You're going to get 20% off. Seal1.com, go there for all your gun cleaning, lubrication needs. Seal1.com, use code LEADHEAD. You're going to get 25% off. For our logoed gear and apparel, the classic logo, Talking Lead gear and apparel, you go to 1776 United to get our shirts, our Leadhead Brigade logos, our patches. Use the code Talking Lead. You're going to get 20% off at 1776 United. We were talking about ASP USA earlier. Their flashlights, they got some of the best handheld flashlights, dual fuel, that are out there. They're giving one of those away in the giveaway that we have. It's like a 2,000 lumen dual fuel flashlight from ASP. Go use the code all caps LEADHEAD. You get 15% off, and that's off anything. Actually, it's 20% now. He upped it another 5%, so you get 20% off at ASP USA. That's their handcuffs, their batons. I had one of their batons here. You got which baton do you guys use on your force?
I carry an aircraft grade aluminum side handle baton with a swivel handle.
Ah, nice, a swivel handle. I think this is like all that stuff too. But they got all the handcuffs and all that stuff at ASP USA, and the flashlight. I really like their flashlights. Factory 47, use the code LEADHEAD. That's our AK Corner logoed apparel. You get our sweaties, our T-shirts. They've got the women's apparel there. You get the AK Corner logo. Use the code LEADHEAD. You're going to get 10% off. Seeing a pattern with the LEADHEAD, I try to make it simple for myself so I can remember all.
Yeah, you have to.
All the codes. Defiant Munitions. You guys want some good quality ammunition? Go check out Pete at Defiant Munitions. 10% off, all caps LEADHEAD there. We were talking about IFAKs earlier. You can go to Medicine in Bad Places. Use the code LEADHEAD20. You're going to get 20% off any of their products there. They got some nice kits, already pre-made kits, or you can buy the onesies and make your own kits up. And then Keltec, you go to KeltecWeapons.com. Use the code LEADHEAD. You're going to get 15% off anything in their pro shop, excluding guns. Guns aren't included. But they got some cool stuff. Christmas is probably past by the time you're listening to this, so too late for Christmas, but birthdays and other things coming up. All these places are great to get gifts for all your fellow lead heads. And then Lockdown, you can go to Lockdown and use the code LEADHEAD. And the secure walls aren't out yet. They're supposed to be out in January. I hadn't checked their website. I don't think they're out yet. But they're safe gear that they've got there. You know, they got dehumidifiers, dehumidifier detectors, and thermometers, and all kinds of gun racks, all kinds of stuff. Go check them out. Lockdown, LEADHEAD, 15% off. I think that's all the codes I got right now. But keep listening, because we always have new and exciting friends of the show and sponsors jumping in. So, Mike, Merry Christmas. I hope that you and your family and everybody has a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year, and hopefully I get to see you at SHOT Show, buddy.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too, man. And if you're at SHOT, definitely let me know. You got my number, and we'll link up for lunch and a beer, man.
Several beers. What are you talking about?
Wow, you got to make it till the night to start drinking that much.
Oh, well, you go ahead. And I start usually a few days before SHOT, to get the tolerance built up. And because it's an all-night thing, usually.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. Right.
And to all you lead heads, appreciate the 10 years of support and looking forward to 10 more years of leducating the unleducated here on the Talking Lead podcast with you lead heads. Email me, talkinglead@gmail.com, with questions, comments. You've got suggestions for the show, jack wagons, Leadhead Brigade heroes, all that good stuff. talkinglead@gmail.com. And until then, lead heads, Merry Christmas. And as always, keep your loved ones close.
Your firearms closer. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
I like that.
In other words, train and have cool shit.
There you go. And the way to find out what cool shit is to watch Tactical Considerations.
Tactical Considerations.